the morning chalk up with Lauren Khalil. Bam, we're live. I know I did start eating banana. I started eating oatmeal ever since I had that guy Chris Wark on. I started eating oatmeal in the morning. I can't ever remember having oatmeal my entire life. Maybe when I was a little kid. I ate oatmeal and I started eating a lot more fruit, apples, pears, bananas. And my extreme. You guys missed Taylor tearing me up, but my performance has improved dramatically. But my shits are messy. I used to only poop unicorn.
Like liquid, like soft, really soft.
Yeah, just softer. I mean,
That's
I still shit on cue. You know, every morning it's like, I got to run to the bathroom. But it's like, it's not. Before it was like, they were just rocks. I just shit just like small, like rabbit pellets.
Do you know what an incinerator potty is?
No, I think I've heard. Does it burn it?
So like my girlfriend's parents have this boathouse on their lake, and you can't have like plumbing because they use the lake for drinking water. It's super clean lakes, this mountain lake. So the boathouse has an incinipotty. And so you have like this bowl liner that you put in the bowl, you shit in the liner, and then you like click the burn thing and you hit the little foot pedal thing and it dumps it down, it burns it. So I like got in one night and I took this huge crap, filled the liner up, like closed the lid, hit the button, hit the foot pedal. I was like, all right, good to go. Wake up in the morning, I go in there to pee and I open the lid and my shit is just sitting there.
Like smoldering?
No, like I guess I thought it was broken. I was like, fuck, I broke it. So I like picked the liner up and put it in a bag, put it in a trash bag basically, and threw it in the trash. But
so you didn't know how to use the incinerator is what you're saying?
I didn't know how to use it. It scared the fuck out of me. I thought I broke her parents' incinipotty, and so I hid my shit in a bag. And anyways,
that's some country stuff, I think. That's like, we don't have those in California.
Yeah, because you can just shit in your drinking water and they don't care.
We shit and we just dump everything in the ocean and say live green.
Or in a fellow neighbor's like
yes,
plant pottery or something.
We do a ton of that. It's crazy. You guys do that in the South though too. You guys got those septics just dumping your deuces all over. Brian Friend, welcome to the show. Good to have you back.
Good morning.
We were speculating what Vegas could have done to you last night. We're glad you made it back.
I was just talking to the athletes a little bit about the workout this morning.
Caleb, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I said bye to you yesterday and it was morning.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was.
Thank you, dude. You're absolutely murdering it. We'll start with. Did you just work out?
Did you just get finished with
JR's fault, by the way. This is totally JR's fault.
Such a long, great workout.
What happened? I want to hear what happened.
So I got off work and I was like, oh, dude, plenty of time. I've got
you don't get off work. You live in Equity. What are you talking about?
It's a very good point. I was released from my current station and moved to another station.
Okay, good.
I was like, okay, well, I've got plenty of time to do this workout. And I get to like warming up and everything. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this will take I was thinking maybe I was like max like 7-8 minutes around or something. And then I get going and I'm like, my back is getting really tight. So I was like slower on the run. And then like people were like muddling about within the gym. So I like had to work around them, and like the walking lunges were like, it was just a whole fucking clusterfuck. Sorry, excuse my French.
Where did you get the workout from? Are you saying that?
Oh yeah, this is from JR. I guess you programmed hero workouts every day this week, and I've just been following along with them, doing them on my own. This one was 8 rounds, 600-meter run, 11 strict pull-ups, weighted. I did unweighted because I'm really shitty at pull-ups, and then 11 walking lunges, 11. What was the other thing? Oh, and then 11 thrusters with a kettlebell.
Oh, so it's not this one.
Not that one.
How tall
that
are
one
you?
Also stuck.
How tall are
you? 6'2".
God, you're giant.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. cleans, back squats, fucking lunges.
So you're wounded.
Yeah, I'm hurting pretty good today for sure.
That's nice. Do you have food with you?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Process.
breakfast for dinner.
All right. All right. Thank you, Caleb. Caleb, can we start with that video of Hiller that I sent you?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
Yes,
Thanks.
please. We need to know
That's so
what is going on in that video. I reposted it like half asleep, and then I thought to myself, what was he doing?
Oh, it's amazing. Have you seen this thing, Brian?
Yes.
So yesterday, John Young got in a car accident and was concussed. And when he came on the show, I was watching him very closely to make sure he didn't like just start babbling, like he didn't have a stroke on air or something. And now I think it's important to put Andrew Hiller on watch. He took a major blow yesterday. And here we go. This is I think this is inappropriate behavior for a head judge when so many people's reps depend on him. Here we go. This is yesterday, I think, at CrossFit Rhino. He's on some sort of ninja contraption, and he's supposed to out.
That's a big one.
Dude, that is a fall.
He definitely underestimated how hard you have to kip on a salmon ladder.
Isn't going up probably easier?
Is that what he's trying to do? Go down?
Yeah, I think he's trying to go up.
Oh, he is? Oh, well, then he should have
No, I
started
think he was
lower.
trying-
Is he out of his
I think-
mind?
I think he was trying to go down at that point.
That's what it looked like to me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he'd already gone up a few rungs and he was trying to go back down.
Hey, I like it how the pole is on a safety string. So if you crash, it doesn't land on
Someone
you.
should make a side-by-side with this from Froning in 2010.
Oh, that would be awesome. Wad Zombies on it. And then Vellner falling off the net. Who did it better? He's lucky he didn't land on his tailbone.
He might have. Did he not?
I don't know. Can we see it one more time, Caleb? He's really lucky he didn't land on his tailbone. Or he's really
I've
unlucky.
fucked mine up before.
We got to ask him that when we get him on the air today.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like his lower. It looks like his upper butt, not his tailbone.
Dude, he bounces. He bounces. He bounces.
Yeah, he's got a fat dumper. It's all that TRT.
God. So you think his ass saved him? You think his fat ass saved him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Definitely being fit and strong helped out.
Greg goes $5 because I feel guilty for commenting on Sporty Bitter's video. Thank you. Guilt will rot your soul and cause cancer. You absolved my son. Dudley Walden, I'll join you, Gray. I want those 18 minutes back. $4.99. Thank you. What do you think Dudley does? Look at his profile pic. What does Dudley do for a living? He's some computer. Look at even Brian wants to ignore me. He just wants the show to start, but he still leans in.
He's probably like a moderator on Omegle. That's what I would imagine.
Dudley, you deserve better. You deserve better treatment. It's your donations that keep the show alive. He's definitely in tech. Okay. Let's start the show with I'm going to go over some notes. Feel free to jump in anywhere you want, guys. I'm going to review. Oh, thank you for changing the backdrop, Caleb. I'm going to review some of my notes after watching. I watched all of Lauren Cleel's videos this morning that she made from yesterday. I'm going to go over some of the stuff she uncovered. If you want to watch the original content, go over to Morning Chalk Up to their YouTube channel. Like usual, she's murdering it, and she's what a great asset she is, and the Morning Chalk Up is to this event. She interviewed Brittany and Devin together. They're competing against each other. They are also Team Invictus mates. I didn't realize this. We had Devin Kim on the air, and we knew that she wanted to go individual, but it also Brittany Weiss has been really focused on strength this year, and she also has individual aspirations. So she's not been focusing too much on the CrossFit. Tola felt so keep this in mind. You're going to hear this a few times, and then I'm going to kind of maybe redefine what they're actually really feeling. Tola says he feels the elevation. This is his first individual comp in a long time. Tola has been focused on biking, running, and squatting. That's a quote, and no CrossFit. Something to keep in mind. So I think what we're seeing here is that these guys are in off season. Thoughts, Brian?
I mean, we spoke about this in the build up to the competition. I think the athletes are coming in for, with different levels of fitness preparation and expectation here. I had kind of said that I thought someone like James Sprague might be coming here to test some of the things he's been working on because he's had a bigger runway to work on some of that stuff. But whether it was as a team or an individual, 40% or so of these athletes did compete at the games, and many of them have done some online qualifiers in time since then. And so they're, a lot of them are in the middle of training. They might be using this as a weekend to maybe just get some touches on some different stuff, but maybe not trying to peak for this event or maybe even win the event, but just coming out here to get some competition touches, some experience, and have some fun. So I think there's a big range.
It's interesting to use James Sprague as an example. I think that was a poor example, Brian, because he is seeing his girlfriend for the first time in what seems to be several months. And I can only imagine he stayed up till fucking 4 a.m. and they were eating all the food in the hotel, bar, and they were making googly eyes at each other and cuddling all night. So I think James Sprague's on a totally different plan. But I understand the spirit of what you were saying, I think is quite accurate. Speaking of James Sprague, he says he's here to have fun. He said the air is dry. And I think that's what the athletes are feeling, not the 2,000 feet of elevation, and they're confusing the two. I think breathing in all of that dry air is affecting them and not making them feel so good. Thoughts on that, JR?
Yeah, dry and probably cool air. I think Jorge said yesterday when he was on live that it was about 60, which is a lot cooler than what he's used to breathing in. And these athletes, a lot of them from more southern states, like if James primarily trains in Florida, and he has been in Florida since the Can West games, and he comes up here to do this competition, I'm sure he's going to feel a huge difference.
Sprague said he's pushing hard, knowing there will be thousands of others trying to beat him online. Sprague also said he is aware of the Z-score system, and he knows he has to win by, quote, a lot. Mr. Taylor Self.
On James Sprague?
Yeah, just on that thought, the Z-score. Dude, make me seem smart. Just like soon as I'm done, just like pick up. Just like you guys, we're drawing a picture.
You didn't ask a question. I think man, he needed to win that muscle up workout by maybe a little more than he did. I think he needs to have a big event on the chipper if he wants to take overall here, because he's going to take a hit in the snatch. So we'll see.
That would have been an A+ if I didn't have to cue you. Thank you, Taylor Self. Luis Lemos. God, I hope I meet you someday. Thank you so much, dude. This dude's
What about
always...
me and Taylor?
No, not Taylor. I love my relationship with Taylor just how it is. I have him trapped in a little box of what I think about him. I don't want it disturbed. Elena Buds, she just moved to Vegas a month ago. She's having fun. She just started training with Underdogs Athletics. She's been training for 6 or 7 years, trying to make it to the CrossFit Games. The goal is to stay, quote, present, and to realize that she does belong, and to always give it her all. And this is what I've always wanted. Looks like she's fulfilling a dream. Brian, thoughts on Elena Buds?
Yes, but I actually spoke to her this morning. I was really impressed with her on event 2 last night. And, to put in context, 6 or 7 years of training, she's still only 23 years old. So she's got a good blend of, experience for someone that's age, with a lot of runway ahead of her still to improve. I think that, for someone like her, this type of competition is great, where she can get some competition experience. She can have some successes. The snatch is going to be big for her today. I think that her max snatch is just slightly above what the ending weight for the ladder is, but we'll see if maybe this is an opportunity for her to match or exceed that lifetime PR.
Rose coach told her she would win the second workout, and she said she didn't appreciate the pressure from her coach. She took dead last in the first workout. She said that, let's start there. JR, as a coach, did they make the right decision? She did win the workout, right?
Yeah, workout 2, right?
Yeah. But she says she didn't like it and didn't appreciate the pressure, but really she did. Or did she not?
Well, maybe she didn't like it or appreciate it, but maybe it gave her an expectation going into it that she didn't want to let her coach down. Sometimes that's all the motivation that someone needs, is someone around you that's watching, that's expecting a certain result from you, and you don't want to let them down, and you'll do anything to not let that happen. So it's interesting sometimes, especially after that first workout that didn't go so well. You can think of all the cliches that were probably said, that's just one workout, put it behind you, there's 3 more left. But at the same time, with Z-score especially, you can coach an athlete like that and say, do the exact opposite to the field on this next workout, and you'll balance yourself out. And in most cases, that you're right.
Taylor, what do you think? Do you like a coach to say that to you? I mean, for me, I think it does put a ton of pressure, but it shows a sign that they believe in you.
Yeah, I think it's up to the individual on which perspective they kind of hold as to whether it's negative pressure or if it's, there's some belief in me and I know what I'm capable of. I don't know. At the same time, if you're used to pressure, something like that probably doesn't affect you too much. If you're not used to the pressure in an environment, something like that can have a pretty big negative side effect. It didn't here, so she maybe went for it a little too much on the set of 9 thrusters. But wow, with the failed reps, she was still able to win the workout. That just shows you kind of how much better she was than everyone else at that particular workout.
Gymnastics and pulling are her weakness. She quit CrossFit 2 years ago and started again when she made semifinals, which is just a trippy sentence, right? She is rebuilding capacity. She's a 3-year grid athlete. And after event 2, she was being interviewed by Lauren Khalil, the morning chalk up. And it was 15 minutes after she finished it. And she said she was still in a lot of pain. And she was actually shaking a little bit as Lauren was interviewing her, shaking a lot. Thoughts on that, Brian? What do you think she means, but she quit CrossFit 2 years ago?
Well, I think this is something we were talking about. I can't remember if it was on the air or maybe last night at dinner I was out with some people. But, in this sport, you have to invest a lot for a period of time just to get close. And I think that frequently athletes will, and what I mean by close is maybe you're finishing 8th to 15th at a semifinal in the format that we had the last 2 years. And if you've been pouring yourself into 5 years of trying to make it, and for 2 or 3 years in a row, you finish 23rd, 18th, 12th at semifinals, you're getting close. But what's the total toll on the body, emotionally, physically, mentally? What else have you set aside in terms of maybe pursuit of academics or another career or relationship or kids? Like, these are all things that athletes have to, at some point, they get to the deciding factor, and they say, I'm going to keep going for 1 or 2 more years, or they say, I've put in 5 great years and enough is enough. And so maybe she reached that point 2 years ago. She's 26 now. If like Elena, she started in her late teens, she might have had 5-6 years trying to get there and said, that's, so be it, I'm going to move on. And then, who knows? She's like a lot of people, they're still training, they're still fit. She ends up making it into the semifinals, and she has a reinvigoration in her career. And now we see her almost make the Rogue Invitational via the online qualifier, have a great performance in event 2 yesterday. So I feel happy for her that she's having a resurgence after maybe a setback a couple years ago.
Jeff Bako, I don't understand Lauren Khalil. That's blasphemy. Do not speak of the queen like that, the great Khaleesi. And don't worry, I will translate for you. Taylor, as someone who is, tell me if I'm misstating this, as someone who trained CrossFit really hard and now is working through a surgery and coming back, would you still, are you doing CrossFit?
Yeah. I feel like when I hear her say, I quit CrossFit, to me, that means she stopped trying to compete in the open and quarterfinals and semifinals. I don't think that means she stopped doing CrossFit. She still competed in grid.
Okay.
Which is, yeah. So I think that's maybe misleading the way she worded that potentially. And if not, if she hadn't done any CrossFit and just qualified for semifinals, then that's crazy and amazing. But I don't think that's the case.
Pete Mason, Lauren Khalil had a close-up shot of this guy's face. This guy's eyes emit fucking light. This guy has the cleanest set of eyeballs I have ever seen. What a charming young man. He kind of reminds me of Pat Vellner, but with like some pixie dust sprinkled on him. I mean, this guy is. I could
know if that's a compliment or not.
Well, I think it's a he just seems he's got a little angelicness to him, like he's a cherub, like he should have wings and a fucking bow and arrow. I just dug him. He said he went into this to the workout with no game plan. The faster you do it, the faster it's over. That's a direct quote. That's his mentality. I hold on as long as you can, and I held on as long as I could in the thruster workout. He said I got to 9. If there would have been 10, I would have failed. He's here because he's looking for competition experience. Yeah, look at him. Look at him. He looks like he came out of like a forest, like with
like Pan's Labyrinth.
yeah, something. He's just amazing. He's got an amazing look to him. He's been in Vegas for about a month, and it sounds like Kiefer, the guy who is one of the programmers at Underdogs Athletics, is his programmer, but he's not necessarily an Underdogs Athletic athlete. Brian, on Pete Mason, please.
Yeah, I think he and Elena Buds came out here together, I think, looking for a little change in training environment. There is a good training environment here. I think that they'll both do well here. I don't know too much about his relationship with Kiefer necessarily as his coach or programmer, and the details of that. But so yeah, I spoke to him this morning. He was obviously very pleased and happy with how that event went last night. He's in a similar situation to Elena here with the snatch, where the last bar is really close to his lifetime best. And but I think I think that some of the athletes are going to maybe even surprise themselves on this workout, and I feel like we're going to see some PRs, and that these might be two of the candidates.
Taylor, what are your thoughts when you hear about an athlete that doesn't have a game plan and it's just put your foot down? And I'm reading into it, I'll admit it, but it sounds like he wasn't just talking about that workout, but every workout.
I mean, in my opinion, it's an area that has a lot of potential to give you advantage in workouts, is having a good game plan or a well thought out game plan, and just not having one maybe sometimes can work out like it did in that workout. And then there are going to be other times that it hurts you. So I would hope that he does have a game plan for a lot of workouts. If he doesn't, he's leaving some stones unturned.
So JR, as he matures, there needs to be a balance between go for it and, okay, I got to pace this one.
Maybe so, but there are outliers out there. If you've listened to Max or some of the TTT guys talk about Travis Mayer is one of those few exceptions, and he said it later in his career. He's kind of done away with that. He's kind of done away with game plans on workouts. He likes to go into them and just go off feel. I mean, that's someone that's made the games, 8 times now, 7 times. So, it can work, but I think to Taylor's point, for the most part, unless you have that crazy amount of experience that you can go into a workout and say, hey, I know in the past I would have planned a break on rep 5 and I was going to take a 3-second break and then start again, and then getting over with a workout and saying, you know what, I didn't need that break. I think that comes with years and years and years to where you can just say, hey, I'm going to go off feel once I get in the workout.
And I think also maybe kind of the question, Sevan, to me was a little misleading. I'm not saying that you need to go into every workout having every transition and every rep and every set accounted for in terms of allocating time to that. What Travis does, I think, when you have a lot of experience in workouts, is your body and where to push and when not to. I don't think you have to break everything down to the second. I don't think a lot of athletes do that. Some do. Brent Fikowski, a good example of someone who does that, but you can be incredibly successful without it. I think just going into workouts blind is probably not the smartest thing.
I remember interviewing Grant Holmberg one year, and I know this is like way, old school CrossFit, but he said, I think as I recall, he said in training, you go balls to the wall. So when he's training, you go until the wheels fall off, because I think his words were, that's where you get the greatest adaptation. And then in the games, you game plan it.
I just think it's too broad of a statement to say I'm going to have a game plan for every workout or not. There's some workouts that I think you can benefit by going into and not thinking too much. Mm-hmm. In this particular competition this weekend, workouts 1 and 4, I have hoped that you've put some thought into those workouts. The other 2, I could see if you've, you're going to snatch or you're not going to snatch. And the other one, there's a little bit of pacing we talked about, but it's a 4-minute workout for him. So it's pretty fast, and you just got to accept the pain and get it done.
So time domains play a huge factor. I guess that's the obvious statement.
Format. Structure of workout, yeah.
Tudor Magda, he wanted the competition experience. That's why he's there. He said he's done less than 10 competitions in his life.
5 is the number that I've been told.
5. Wow. Okay. We met his coach, Ed. It sounds like Tudor is surrounded by people that he really likes. I think he said, I love my training environment. He's based out of a small town east of Seattle. What's important to him is family, friends, and faith. He said in that workout with the burpees that he used that final set of burpees to get his heartbeat down a little bit. Those are my words, but that's what I was understanding him saying. He slowed down on those burpees to get his heartbeat down because he knew it was important when he finished that last burpee that he immediately grabbed the bar. Speaking of pacing.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about throughout that workout. There were times that different athletes looked like they were moving slow on the burpees. There were other times that they looked like they were moving deliberately on the burpees. But in either case, there were those looming sets of 9 with the barbell, and we saw, everything across the board in terms of touch and go reps to single reps to a combination on the cleans. But pretty much everyone was hoping, at the very least, to have a chance to do those thrusters, the last set of 9 thrusters unbroken. If you're able to do that, you're going to pick up some points and some time on the field. So taking a little bit of a step back coming into that, I think is a wise decision, and sounds like it worked out well for him.
Please do not click this link. I always feel like I've made it when the bots arrive. Okay, Matthew Souza.
Yo.
How are things going? What do you got for us this morning? Anything you spotted? Any athletes pulled out yet? Any
there was something actually.
How's Hiller after that fall?
Hiller's all right after the fall. We have some other footage of him doing some more Ninja Warrior stuff. We'll have to show you guys later. Now, one funny thing to know about the athlete briefing, I missed exactly what caused it, but they were all sitting on the bleachers doing the normal briefing. And when I came back in, they were all up against the barrier, apparently revolting against Keeper for some workout standard. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But they got it sorted out during the chipper workout. There are also some questions on Z-score about what happens if every single athlete snatches the same weight and one person snatches heavier. Does that affect the Z-score average? So I don't know. Maybe that's a question that Brian could answer there, or Tyler Watkins, we can get him on.
Souza, what do you mean there was go back to the thing about the revolt during the briefing, that people weren't happy with the workout? They thought it was dangerous or it was poorly programmed. What was going on?
No. It was a standard that they were questioning that I guess got pretty intense as to what they thought was fair and what wasn't. So I'll have to get more information exactly on it. When I came in, they were all huddled up against the barrier, and Kiefer even had to take a step back. Maybe we can catch up with him and ask him what happened.
You mean he had to take a step back because it was just getting so intense? People were getting...
Yeah. Hey, Kiefer, what happened earlier when the athletes were pushed up in the barrier? I came inside and they were all like revolting against you. What was going on there?
It was James, so one of the smaller athletes, and he wanted to make sure that there was plenty of space to kick up before the start line there. And they were revolting because they wanted me to dump with some calls here.
Oh, okay. So did you hear that?
No.
Okay, so James Spriggs said, was there enough space for them to kick up in the handstand walk? Because apparently, I guess they're starting from this side, and he didn't know if he was going to hit something or whatever. And then he said, yeah, there was plenty of space, and they told them to prove it by kicking up and doing the handstand. And then when he said no, they came over, and that was what was going on.
Fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Susan, I think you might have to reboot your phone. We're getting a weird burping frog thing from you. Like the devil has possessed your phone again.
Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you. Matthew Souza, executive producer of the Sevan Podcast, on the floor there asking the fun questions. Brian, what do you know? Because I know you know something about what he was just saying.
Which part?
About the concern that there's not enough room to kick up for the handstand walk.
Yeah. I mean, they have 150 feet of handstand walking at the beginning and end of the workout. It has to be in unbroken sections, and you have to start with all your hands, your entire hand behind the line. So James and Matt, being very tall athletes relative to not just this field, but the entire population of elite CrossFitters, wanted to make sure that they would be able to kick up safely on both sides without hitting the barricade or anything that might be underneath the rig. And I think they were satisfied at the end and it was fine.
Okay. Did they move the starting line?
They didn't move the starting line. I'm not sure if they moved the barricades back at all or not, but there will be enough space for everyone to safely kick up and do a handstand.
All right. Fantastic. Mr. Beaver, could we see workout number 3, which starts in 16 minutes of the Zelos games in Las Vegas, Nevada, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, We will be here to commentate it for you. You're currently looking at the warm-up area, then Vendor Village, then the warm-up area. You see Andrea Nisler over there. You see the Fittest, Wizard, James Sprague. Across the way, it looks like maybe Pete Mason and his coach Ed. Oh no, that's Tudor Magda's coach Ed.
Sevan,
Ethan
did you want me to?
Helbig.
Do you want me to address what he was asking about the Z-score on this workout?
Maddie DeLugos, please. Yes, let's do it.
So it is worth noting that a workout like this is a challenge when you're implementing something like the Z-score. The reason being, let's just say that the field breaks out into 4 even groups of 4, and you have 4 of the athletes that end up clearing the ladder and then hitting a weight that's beyond the last barbell. And then maybe you have 4 athletes that clear the ladder but don't hit any additional weight. So they're all stuck at that 265. And then you have 4 athletes that didn't clear the ladder. And we'll just say that they all finished 1 bar before that, were unable to hit 265, so they all got relocated to the same tie break. And they're doing a tie break. How are you going to score each of those separate 4 groups of athletes on the same scoring system? And so when we saw the programming, Tyler and I got on the call and I said, hey man, you need to do some like mock results, not even based on the athletes in the field, just based on a generic group of athletes, and figure out how we're going to do this, because it might not be a clean break of 4, 4, and 4. What if 10 make it and 2 don't? What if we end up having 5 different groups if there's people that miss on different bars in the lead up or whatever? So we ran through a bunch of different testing scenarios of what could theoretically happen to try to make sure that we were prepared for any of those scenarios. I think that we are. It's not the easiest thing necessarily to explain how it works, but I promise you we've run several models, and in all of the models we've kind of accounted for anything that could potentially be problematic. We did talk about yesterday with a small field, you are going to see potentially some big jumps, but what we wanted to make sure was that because the standard deviation matters in this model, which I think is a good thing, especially mathematically. However, with a skewed workout like this, and you can have like a variety of different athletes finishing in different points, there was a possibility to see some things that didn't really make sense. Like if there's a 20-point gap between Group A and Group B, I think that might make sense. But if there's 4 athletes that all do overhead squats, and they have a rep range that's like 5 apart from all of them, that should be a fairly close grouping of scoring. So to make sure that we were getting that right and representing the relative fitness of each of them against each other took some time, but I think we have a model that works well.
Is the concern like a massive tie or a massive point discrepancy? I don't even understand what the problem is.
So anytime that there's a workout and there's a potential for there to be a tie, I think the programmers or the competition organizers should be aware of that and asking themselves, are we okay with having a big tie potentially here? We had a conversation like this leading into the log lift of the Texas Oak event at Rogue because they hadn't told us ahead of time what the tiebreaker was, so we were curious. We heard these rumors there might be a few number of bars, and a lot of the athletes may go out on a similar weight. What's going to happen in terms of scoring in that regard? Ultimately, the scoring matters because it has a direct correlation on who wins the competition and therefore some money involved. So we have to, think carefully, or think that programmers and competition organizers should think carefully about the possibility of ties, and then what will be the, deciding factor if you want to have some kind of tie break.
I don't have a problem with a bunch of people tying. If it happens, it happens. I mean, it's not ideal, but I don't think it's...
you and I have gone back and forth on this before, and I've brought in some analogies from other sports that have, like the F1 racing, for example, that has a season long of events. And if one of those events, all of a sudden you're like, we didn't exactly run everything right here, so everyone gets 50 points for this one, and we'll just move on to week 13. Like, then what was the point of having week 12? So if you're going to have a workout and half the field's going to tie on the workout, why did you have it to begin with?
For the 18, you're 18-0 in that argument against me. I always walk in that one. Mike Halpin, Brian looks jacked with that sweatshirt under his friend Fax t-shirt. I think what he's saying is you're not jacked and you've cheated somehow with your clothing choice.
Mid 40s here was not t-shirt wasn't going to cut it this morning.
Scoring should be simple. You finish first, you get 1 point. You finish 20th, you get 20 points. All right, fine. Talk to Tyler Watkins. Okay, let's look at workout number 3, which starts in 11 minutes.
And I think if we look at this workout, if Brian can kind of come back to why tie breaks really matter and why the scoring system matters with Z-score. Since we have the workout up here, you can look at it. We know that 30 double unders counts as 1 repetition. We know that each snatch made counts as a rep, working towards your max load. But to Brian's point, let's say that 4 individuals snatch 255, they all hit it, and then they go to the tie break. And then there are 3 more people that all get the double unders in the next round. And so that's 1 rep. And let's say they all miss 265. Well, all those people that ended at 255 have to do a tie break of max overhead squats. At least the way I understand it is the question, if all those athletes do overhead squats and there's a spread of 5 reps, like let's say one gets 15, one gets 11, and then one gets 10, are those 4 reps difference the same, counted the same score-wise as the 1 repetition that the other 3 athletes got for getting the 30 double unders?
Wow, that was hard to explain. Good job. Good job, JR.
So those are the exactly, those are good. That's a good example of the types of scenarios that we were trying to prepare for. And it's basically the model slides based on the number of people that fall into each category. So if there's only a limited number of points available if you don't clear the ladder, but it depends on how many points available that is based on how many people don't clear the ladder.
Right.
So you can't just say, well, if you don't clear the ladder, you can only get to the 50% of the points. Like that's your max score would be 50. Because what if one person clears it and 11 don't? Then it doesn't make sense. But what if you're the only person that clears it or that doesn't clear it and the other 11 do? So it'll be a sliding based on where the athletes fall. And to JR's question of how big of the rep of double under would count compared to a rep of a tie break in the overhead squat is also variable based on how the entire field does.
Let me go back a second here. Is that really the tie break, max overhead squats?
For the athletes that all go out on the same bar,
okay,
then they will strip the bar back to the original starting weight, 185 for the men, 125 for the women, and they'll have 1 minute for a max set of overhead squats.
Oh wow, I like it. Taylor, can these guys and these gals at those weights do overhead squats for an entire minute with that weight?
I think definitely some athletes in the field can, without a doubt. If you look back at the 2020 online games workout, Nasty Nancy was 5 rounds of 15 overhead squats. Maybe it was a 500-meter run, 15 bar facing burpees, 15 overhead squats at 185, 135, and majority of the field did it unbroken there. That being said, that's a field of an entire field of games athletes versus a field not quite as strong, but I certainly think there are several athletes in the field who could, without a doubt, do a minute at that weight unbroken. Christine Colombrander being one of them, Tola being one of them, probably DeLugos as well, Rowe, Kyra Milligan.
But the athletes that are going to be able to do that well and easily won't have to do it because they'll clear the ladder. For the ones that are missing that are missing and will be relegated to the tie break, from what I saw and have heard in testing, it seems like you get somewhere around 9, 10, 11 overhead squats and suddenly things start to fall apart. And so you'll see, I think in that case, we'll see athletes that are losing some shoulder stability, getting towards 10 overhead squats in the tie break, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Mike Halpin, I think, has a dispute he would like to file with you, Brian. He's saying it's not it's a max set of overhead squats, not total in 1 minute, meaning that they could keep going until they drop it.
And then if they drop it, then they're done.
I guess. I don't know what okay.
No, it is in a minute.
Okay, fine.
It's a max overhead squats in 60 seconds.
Maybe I didn't understand what Halpin was saying. Oh no, he's saying he's wrong. Okay. Okay.
And although we'll only have 4 athletes on the floor at one time, there will be a lot going on because we'll have people in probably every heat that don't clear the ladder. So we'll have some people fail a rep, do their 90-second rest, load their bar to 185, 125, and be doing their squats while others theoretically are still doing double unders and snatching for load.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see someone who can't do 185 or 125 go for a max overhead squats at that weight. Do they have to take that off the ground?
Everything's from the floor, yeah.
Fantastic. All right. And anything else we want to say about this workout before we look at the leaderboard and talk about a couple of the athletes? We have 6 minutes till showtime.
I think that, just for people to understand, it's 90 seconds, but in that 90 seconds, you have to do the double unders and the snatches and then change your own weights. So really just, even in the changing of the weights, just be looking for athletes who are moving calmly and composed. Sometimes things don't go perfect when you're changing weights. Your clip gets a little stuck or the floor is a little uneven. Don't panic in those situations. We're looking like this is an execution workout where you need to be from beginning to end, smooth movement, controlled movement patterns, taking advantage of the time when you have it, not being in a rush, even when you feel stressed for time, changing your weights. I think those things can pay off for the athletes that are close, because a big group, there's probably like half of this field for both the men and women that just clearing the ladder would be a good accomplishment today. And if that's the case, like just manage those first few rounds and stay calm and composed and set yourself up for the later ones. The other thing that's really will be key to watch with specific athletes, and we saw this at the semifinals, especially for the teams in the snatch ladder, is once you clear the ladder, what is a realistic jump to an opening weight? And when we get to the athletes who have some 300 plus and 200 plus snatches, you're talking about 25 and 35 pounds above what you had to end the ladder at, and only 3 minutes to get it done. So these guys will weigh in on what maybe they would do in a situation like that or advise someone to do. But for certain athletes, that's a big consideration, is how many snatches can I do in 3 minutes and where do I start?
I would like to say that when he says changing the weights, I believe Brian specifically is saying they just add weights. So no one has to take any weights off the bar. It's a pretty smooth process. You just take the clips off, add the weights, put the clips back on.
Yeah, it is a pretty smooth process, and unless there's a rule against it, it'll also be interesting to see little nuances in the strategy of when they load and when they start double unders. Unless they have to have the bar fully loaded before the next 90-second interval, you could see some people hit their 3 snatches, go right to their rope, do their double unders, then use loading the bar for the next weight as rest, and then start their snatches again. Or you could see some people finish their 3 snatches, immediately load, and then go right from their double unders into their snatches again. So it's almost like a built-in rest to load the bar if you want it as that.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out, Tyler, I don't think you're on till 4.
It's fine. I'll just sit here in the background. You guys I felt bad for Brian. I was coming in as backup.
Okay. I appreciate it, but we have 3 minutes to look at the leaderboard, but I love seeing your face. All right. Thanks, brother. Okay. Can we pull up the leaderboard? We have 3 minutes to look at the leaderboard for the men and the women. We will get back to Tyler Watkins at some point in the show and ask him to clarify some of the scoring challenges that come with workout number 3. We're going to move over to look at the leaderboard for the men and the women now. Brian, I just muted you just because it got so loud. Once you start talking, it'll fix itself. Okay. In first place on the women's side, Andrea Nisler with a very strong lead, 198 out of. Is it okay to say 198 out of a possible 200?
Yes.
Okay. 198 out of a possible 200. Alex Kazan with 171 in second place. Devin Kim in third with 154. Christine Kohlenbrander 148. Really quick, guys. Give me, who are the people to look at in this workout? Taylor Self.
Personally,
Sevan, just so you know, the men are starting today.
Okay.
I'm looking at Kyra Milligan, Rose Scott, Christine Kohlenbrander, and Andrea Nisler.
Great choices. Can we go over and look at the men, Mr. Beaver? Thanks for the clarity, Brian. With our short time, that'll be good. We'll revisit the women and give them more time right when the men are done. In first place, we have a closer race with the men. We have Tudor Magda with 180 points, James Sprague with 165, Peter Mason with 160, Leonel Franco with 150. Someone we should mention that we've talked about a lot in sixth place, we have Tola Moraquinho with 126. JR, who are your picks for this one?
I think we need to really keep an eye on Matt DeLugos in 10th right now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if when the dust settles at the end of the day that he's in a podium position. I think he's going to move up a lot here on the snatch and then again on the chipper.
Wow, from 82 points, you think he's going to get on the podium?
I think it's possible, yeah.
Brian, talk some sense into JR.
Well, I mean, we'll have a much better picture after this. Obviously, to move up to the podium, he has to pass by 7 guys. If you look at if you look at the athletes that are there in his way, there are several athletes that he can make a huge gain on in this workout alone. So how much he's able to close that gap here will go a long way towards determining that. But I think you can expect him to make a big move leaderboard-wise in just this one workout this morning.
Taylor, is JR completely off the reservation with this one? Looking at the 10th place guy?
I don't think he's completely off the reservation, but I don't know that he jumps back up to third. I think he has a chance to jump up to fourth. I think third's a little out of reach. We'll see.
Brian, do you think DeLugos is disappointed with his placement right now?
No, not necessarily. He seemed to be in good spirits this morning. And, Taylor's probably spot on the money there because he's going to have to, if he wants to get on the podium, that means that he'll have to beat either Tudor, James, or Tola, who already have a big advantage out over him. And they will each also at least do well on one of these workouts today.
All right. Let's take a look at the floor now. It looks like some of the guys are warming up.
They've started.
Oh, they've started. All right. Let's do it.
This is the first round of snatches. So at this point, we're 40 seconds in. All 4 men on the field have already hit their 30 double unders and 3 snatches at 185. That's Logan Ewing right there in the gray shirt. The left of him is Lionel Franco in the pink and gray sweatpants. Of course, you have the Fittest Wizard here in the tie-dye. And on the outside lane is Tudor Magda. So right now they're changing their weights. Pretty much all of the guys are done changing their weights in this interval with 30 seconds to spare. Everyone looks very composed and relaxed, as we would want them to do in the start of this workout. And 20 seconds from now, they'll start the second one.
Incredible camera work, by the way, guys. What you're seeing is that Matt Souza is holding that camera. It's just an iPhone, and he can actually hear Brian. So as Brian's talking, he can pan off to the left. Revolutionary. Some revolutionary stuff.
JR, what do you think about the double unders in this workout? Is it something the athletes are thinking about? Is it just a matter of not making a mistake? Any stress on the shoulders?
No, I think for a lot of the people that may just be feeling the nerves of like a 1 rep max type event, I think the double unders can actually do a little bit to calm you a little bit. I think a lot of people, like when you think about open workouts like 16.2, 17.3, a lot of people hit those really heavy loads because they're so warmed up and they're not really given an opportunity to think too much about it. Taylor may disagree though, especially with snatch being so technical.
No, I agree. I think the double unders can give you a chance to settle down. And I don't think at 30 reps, it's taxing the athletes. I think more than anything, it's just creating either a time crunch for the athletes and a feeling of increased pressure, or B, a chance to settle in. It just depends on your confidence with the barbell. I think if you don't have a lot of confidence with the barbell, the double unders are not helping you out because it's just crunching your time domain shorter. If you're really confident in the snatch and you have some nerves going into the event, the double unders probably serve to settle you down a little bit.
So
Every
this
guy
is a big thing here, Sevan. Unlike what we had anticipated, they do have to make a change here where they take the 25 and 10-pound weight off, and they've loaded up to 225. That second interval, that's the hardest change. That second interval, again, all the athletes were done with 30 dubs and 3 snatches at 205 in about 40 seconds, but they had a little less time after changing their weights because of the taking off and adding on. They shouldn't have to do that the rest of the way, I don't think. So we'll see if anyone slows down here. We've now gone up to 225 pounds for these guys.
Until they want to hit a max weight, they shouldn't have to peel any more off.
And who is that in the gray? Who is that? Logan Ewing in the first lane there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Tudor
he's off
Magda.
camera right now.
Yeah,
That's Logan. Lionel is behind him.
Tudor's, without a doubt, got the cleanest reps so far. He's got a nice, crisp power snatch. There's a squat, his first squat. Beautiful rep. Logan's technique's a little not quite as polished. His overhead position's not quite as good.
Now, as we're moving through this particular heat, there's actually 3 guys here that all have the potential to hit 300 pounds on a given day, Logan being the exception to that. But he's had a max of 285. Lionel's max is 295. Dennis and Tudor have both hit over 300 before. So all of these guys are expecting to clear this ladder, and we might get a really good indication right off the bat in Heat 1 here of what's reasonable in terms of a jump once they do.
This guy you're staring at in the gray shirt, Logan Ewing, he showed that I made the mistake of saying that they don't have to take the weights off like Brian said, but it was just at that one interval that Brian mentioned. I also want to show that he is lifting over a platform that has the Paper Street Coffee logo. That's a big sponsor for the Sevan Podcast. If you go to their website and use the code word Sevan, you get 20% off on all your orders between now and Thanksgiving.
So we finished 3 intervals. We're now into a series of intervals where instead of doing 3 snatches, they only have to do 2 snatches, and that'll last for the next 2 rounds. So these will be 2 snatches at 225. And we'll see Dennis here. He also seems to be grooving into his snatch technique. He's been squat snatching earlier than Tudor was, but also seems like he's finding his rhythm a little bit here with the snatch.
Emma, if you can hear me, can you turn your camera just a little to the right and maybe keep Tudor in the shot, but also get the guy in lane number 4, Logan Ewing. So we don't have a single missed rep as of yet. Is that correct?
A couple double under, maybe a trip or 2 and double under. No missed snatches yet. And they did. Okay. They took off the 5s there. They're loading the 10s. So this will be 245 for 2 when they start again.
Hiller's shorts are so fucking tight, dude.
Oh, did you see him?
Dude, he just walked in frame. It looks like he's wearing – they are nut huggers.
It's the only way he rolls. There he is. Andrew Hiller talking to the judges. I wonder if she's getting reprimanded or maybe a little love.
Both Logan Ewing and Lionel Franco have put a belt on here for this round for the first time.
I'm not sure whose camera this is we're at, but if you could just turn a little to the there you go, Emma. And that other camera just needs to be turned a little to the left. Tudor Magda's taken off his blue sweatshirt. He's now going with the short sleeve shirt.
Yep, he's in all black and power snatch at 245. Okay.
Jeremy Garcia, $5. These judges better be doing the plate change math too. This event has too much addition for Hiller to handle. Fair enough. Dark Lord Revon, thanks to Sevan and the whole crew for this. Yeah, thank you for everybody. Insane.
So still here about the 40 to 42 second mark. Every athlete is done with the snatches. They're making the change here. Should be going up to 255. And from there, now we have only 1 snatch that they need to hit. So they'll do 30 double unders and 1 snatch in this next interval.
What's the max weight they're going to go up to, Brian?
The men's final weight is 265.
Okay. So they're 20 pounds away. They're 2 lifts away from the final lift.
They'll do this one, and then they have 1 more interval, and then they'll have the opportunity for the max lift if they make it through.
Tudor Magda in the black. Is that Ethan Helbig next to him in the tie-dye?
No, that's Dennis Samsonov.
Okay.
Behind him in the pink is Leo Franco, and the far side of the floor in the gray, Logan Ewing. So all stepping up for 1 snatch at 255. Tudor goes for the squat snatch. I think everyone's probably going to be going for a squat snatch here. And I've been watching, that's Lionel Franco. He has been the slowest one in every round, the last one to finish his last snatch every time. His overhead position is, to me, looks very, very good. And I did have a chance to talk to him this morning. He's never hit 300 pounds. He actually posted on Instagram recently that he was kind of close to it. And he's hoping, he said he's going to try to get to 300 today.
He's going to go from 265 to 300 in a 3-minute window?
He said he'd like to try to.
Do you just have
competition pressure?
So Taylor, since we're getting closer to that point now, if you ended at 265, knowing your goal weight, how many reps would you plan on in that 3-minute window?
I'd plan on 3 lifts. And personally, like my PR is 295. I think a jump from 265 personally to 280 is okay, because 280s, it's not much different than 275 for me, and I wouldn't make a 5-pound jump. I'd either go 265 to 275 or 265 to 280. So I think a 15-pound jump is good. And then after that, you know, maybe 285, then 295, or 290, 295. I don't know. I think the 10-pound jumps, once you get up to 95, 98% of your one rep, is tough. So we'll see.
This is the final bar. Tudor clears it easily. Dennis does the same. Logan setting up for his attempts. Yep, good. And all 4 guys easily clear the ladder here. So they will have a reset period before the 3-minute window starts.
And that is the 10-minute mark is when the 3-minute window
10:30.
starts. The 10:30. Okay.
10:30, I think.
You know, yeah, so this workout, if seen out to its full extent, is a 13.5-minute window. So they'll have at the 10:30 mark, which is 40 seconds from now, the 3-minute window opens. If we're looking out at the floor, Tudor, I think, has slid on some 25s. So he has 245 plus. I think he has 295 on the bar. It looks like
A 30-pound jump.
yeah. Lionel has gone to 280, I think, is his opening. So basically
282,
exactly
like.
what you would have. Oh, maybe. But he's a very similar 1-rep max to you, and basically employing exactly the strategy that you talked about. Dennis seems to be doing the same. I believe he has 280 on the bar. And Logan Ewing, whose best snatch ever is 285.
280. He's got 280. No, he's got 280 on the bar. His best lift is 285. He's got 280 on the bar.
Yeah, so I think we have 3 guys opening here with 280, and Tudor, who's got actually Tudor has made another adjustment to his barbell and backed off a little bit.
Okay.
So Dennis's lift is good. Tudor has I can't tell from here exactly what Tudor has on the bar. Lionel Franco with a good lift. Tudor does hit a good lift. Logan missed his first attempt.
What did Tudor back off to?
I think that those are 15s on there. So I think he had 285. So I think we've had 285, 280, 280. And Logan missed his first attempt. And he's backing off a little bit.
Oh my God. Did he just put. So here's a 260. I'm so confused.
It looks like he went up to 305. It looks
Just
like
so you guys know what's going on here, they had to finish a ladder. They finished the max lift of 285, and then another window opens where they don't have to do double unders, but they get 3 minutes to set a max lift to set themselves apart from the other guys. And we are about halfway through that max.
Well,
lift
one of those minutes is gone. They have about 145 left at this point.
Tudor's at 305.
I think he's realizing that he kept an extra plate on there. So he's making that adjustment.
Oh, he's not hitting that.
Yeah, he needs to get a little bit more committed to that finish. Dennis is going for a lift here. He's under it, stands it up. That should be 295 for Dennis. Lionel Franco attempting a lift. Just barely misses. Tudor hits it.
Wow, he hits 305.
So was that a 15? Was that a 15 on
It was a
before
15
the 25?
in the middle, I think.
And you see Ed, his coach,
in there, yes.
And you see Ed, his head coach, just a few feet away from him.
Did he leave James Townsend?
Yes.
Yeah, old news. Sorry.
So Tudor, if that was a 305 lift for Tudor, that would be a lifetime PR. He never had hit over 300 prior to today.
Wow. And is that
going for another lift?
Is that recorded? He's never hit 305?
No, that was me talking to him this morning. But remember what we talked about with him yesterday in the muscle-up workout, where he's put on some weight since the games. 10 to 15 pounds is what we're led to believe. Obviously, that would help with the weightlifting. He also did well with the gymnastics. So he's gone up. I think he's got 310 on the bar now. Dennis, I think, has 305 on the bar. If Dennis were to hit this would be a PR for Dennis as well.
Looks like Leo's still at 295. Wow.
Lionel does get that one. Very nice lift for him.
And that's time expired.
Big lift for Dennis. I think that's a PR.
Do they give that to him? She yelled time, but he already had the bar off the ground.
All you have to do is break the plane with the bar. That should be a good lift. So if we're correct, I think that was a PR for both Dennis and Tudor there, which is an awesome way to start this workout.
Yeah. Hey, can we get over, Souza, to hear what's going on in Tudor's corner, what Ed's saying to him over there? Here we go. Matt Souza roaming through the crowd here. I think that was one of our camera operators. the green iPhone cover. Smelt that guy's armpit.
Hey, was that a PR for him?
Yeah. So we actually haven't done anything heavy since the games. We've only been working technique with Rory Zambar, and it's been
Wow, what was that last lift he hit?
322.
Holy smokes.
Easy.
Thank
More
you.
than Taylor Self.
Oh,
Did he say 322?
That's crazy.
Yes.
322.
Holy cow.
322.
savage. Let's see if we can get a word from Tudor. Ask Tudor what the plan was.
Tudor, was that the plan, brother? Was the plan to go out there and PR today?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a nice environment. Gotta get up to the weights.
How did he choose the weights?
How do you choose the weights?
Based on the field, just like how pumped I am in the moment. So
Awesome job, man.
now you gotta tell your coach you're never snatching again. It's a bit tall and scared.
You heard it here first. James Sprague letting us know that even Tola is scared.
I mean, 322, like that is amazing.
And that
And
was
he-
smooth.
And he said he hadn't lifted heavy since the games. They've just been working technique.
Sevan,
Incredible.
you and I have talked about this before, particularly with the snatch, that you can take some time off of lifting heavy with the snatch and then find yourself having a pretty good day. But I don't know if he was even thinking that was in the cards. I mean, that's a huge PR.
So the Tudor Magda hype is real. I mean, that's been the word on the street right now for 18 months. This guy's strong. This guy's strong. This
Well,
guy's strong.
There's been an up and down in terms of his narrative, right? And we talked about it coming into this weekend that he was in my opinion, the biggest wild card in the field because he over-exceeded my expectations for him at semifinals. Based on watching him in Vegas 2 years ago and what he did this year at semifinals, I thought, yes, this guy has come a long way in a year. But then you get to the games and nothing seemed to be going right. Tudor's not a very public guy, doesn't do a lot of interviews, doesn't talk a lot publicly, posts a lot on social media. So there's, I think still a lot of uncertainty about what happened there, whether it was mentally, physically, just a bad environment, a bad week, maybe it wasn't, but it was bad. And, especially with what we saw at semis. So this is amazing, encouraging, and I'm very happy for him to see him having a great weekend here so far. And yeah, I mean, if he can channel this kind of fitness into the next season, he'll be back at the games, and I think he would do a lot better his second time around.
Good to hear. Taylor, why was that directed at you? Did you say Tudor wasn't strong or something?
No, I've never made a comment about him not being strong. I just talked about him being a hothead.
Well,
the,
they're probably going to send you some of their winnings because it sounded like you motivated them.
Yeah, that's all due to me. You can thank me, Tudor, for all your hard work and your PR.
In the lanes, in lane number 1 here, I'll take a stab at it. We have Peter Mason. In lane number 2, we have Ethan Helbig. In lane number 3, we have James, the Happy Man Sprague. And in lane 4, we
He's
have
off the
Kiefer.
camera for you there. He's off the camera for you there. It's Jack Rosema in lane 4. And
Okay.
This heat is going to feel very different to the one that we previously saw, where all of the men in that heat were expecting to clear the ladder, and obviously some of them had a lot more in the tank weight-wise than that. In this heat, there are 3 guys whose listed lifetime PRs are 265, and the 4th guy is Ethan Helbig, who has a lifetime PR of 285, but has recently hit 265 in a local competition, and that's kind of his recent PR. So all 4 men here are looking to clear the ladder as a win for this workout, whereas in the first heat, everyone was assuming that they would. For you guys, if you're an athlete that's not sure if you can clear this ladder, is there anything different about what you're thinking about or how you're going to approach the early rounds as opposed to someone who has 300 in the tank?
But before you answer that, Brian's question, what's going on here on the floor? Why are they putting so much extra tape on? Oh, they're measuring? What are they doing there?
There are some within the rules. Keep in mind that this is an online competition. There's a designated space that you have to lift within. It's 2 lines that are 6 feet apart, and I think that you're not allowed to go outside of those parameters. It helps with video reviews and just having everything in the frame. And so we want to make sure that we're meeting those standards here. They shifted the lines on the floor after that. So they were just spacing out the floor a little bit more.
Okay. Sorry. Do you guys remember the question Brian asked, JR Taylor?
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I think he was talking about someone who knows that they may not finish the ladder or is hoping to even finish the ladder, how they approach the lighter barbells. And I think probably they start grooving whatever they're going to do with their heavy technique early. So not really doing any power snatches from the beginning, going ahead and grooving a full snatch, maybe taking another breath or two in between and using more of that 90-second window versus the guys that can just fly through those 3 reps early and then get a lot of rest.
So here we go. Heat 2 for the men, ace of spades, 30 double under buy-in in every interval. In the first 3 rounds, that'll be followed by 3 snatches. The opening weight for the men is 185 pounds.
I believe Jack Rosema has quite a bit higher snatch than 265, Brian.
That was the listed one that we were able to pull from his game site. You might be right about that. He was one of the few athletes I was unable to catch up with this morning.
I'm shocked also that Ethan Helbig has a 265, 285 snatch. I would have expected him to be a bit higher. He's just such a big dude. I guess we'll get to see what it looks like when the weight's too heavy.
It's so easy doing this with only 4 lanes.
So similar to the first heat, all the athletes finishing 45 seconds at most. Nice smooth transition there, just throwing on some 10s. They got 20 more seconds to rest before starting the second round. Second round of this workout also has 30 double unders and 3 snatches, this time at 205 pounds.
And the closest lane to you is Jack Rosema. Then in the blue is James Sprague. Then in the third lane is Ethan Helbig. And then farthest from you, which you can't see, I think he's behind James Sprague, is Pete Mason. There he is on your left now in the gray shirt. So far, so good. 0 struggle from anybody. Not a single failed lift.
Yeah, and the only one who's been doing full snatches so far has been Ethan.
Oh, okay. And then Pete Mason just did one.
Yep. Yeah, Pete
Okay.
was pretty close there.
Do you think that's a choice, JR? By Helbig?
Yeah, for sure, because I'm pretty sure he was doing it at 185.
Tudor may be quiet, but he has a heart of gold. Patrick, James' dad. Wow, nice to see him.
With Allstate Insurance.
Hey, that's James without hair. Look at him. He looks exactly like James. That's incredible.
So here, that was the interval where they had to make the biggest change to their weights, taking some off, loading up to 225, and a much smaller interval in terms of turnaround from finishing the plate change to starting the third round. This would be the last round where they have to do 3 snatches. 30 double unders, 3 snatches at 225.
Brian, why didn't they make it so you just add fractional plates? They just didn't want the aesthetic of it?
I don't know. I think that considering what Taylor was saying earlier, where you have guys going up 275, 300, that's just a lot. Making this one big change to have a base of 225 just kind of makes sense.
Oh.
This is one of those things that, if you're watching James Sprague here on the screen, it looks a little bit more difficult for him than some of the others. But we've seen stuff like this in the strength. Oh.
Now, if you step over that line, can you come back to the designated area and drop and have it still count, unlike the open type stuff, quarterfinals?
Yes. Yeah. So that's what we just saw with Pete Mason, where the judge was actively telling him to get back inside the zone. He was able to stabilize and do that, and they did credit that rep.
Is that normal? I've never heard of that. Basically, in other competitions, if you come out of the zone, it's over. But as long as you finish the lift in your designated space, it's a good lift.
That's how the rules read for this. I think that in a lot of times with the lifting that's on a platform, and they would consider it unsafe to remount the platform since it's elevated. But here it's a flat surface, so they're allowing it.
And what does that tell you? Does that mean this next weight, Pete Mason's going to fail after what we just saw?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I was about to say with James Sprague, is that sometimes for some of these guys on a lifting event, there's just a period of time where you're getting into your groove or your rhythm. But I would say for both James and Pete here, they want to be fairly deliberate in each of these attempts. They only have 2 reps to do in this interval, and so they want to make sure not to miss either of their attempts.
Kendall, great camera work, Kendall. You're killing it. Good adjustment.
And that opening rep there from both Pete and James was much more strong position and committed than the previous rep at 225.
Missed rep from Ethan.
Yeah, I think that may be just a little bit of a rush there. Much better interval for Pete, and Ethan is able to get under and stabilize that one. So all of the guys cleared at 245. Rosema is done changing his weights before the 2 other guys have even started, though. So Taylor, you might be right.
Taylor,
that Jack's had a little bit bigger snatch than maybe he has.
He snatched like 290. I think he snatched 295 or 300 at Granite Games 2021 or 2021.
Dang, Ruth, you're killing it. I'm loving the camera work.
He's still power snatching on that last round, so you would think he's got plenty left in the tank.
Let's look at the Granite Games leaderboard.
Every time I see James, I just can't get over how big he is. I mean, he's just a big man. Look at him.
He's filling out too. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure weight wise, but he looks considerably thicker than what he looked like even at Wadapalooza last year.
All right, this will be 2 snatches at 245. The last of the intervals that have 2 snatches. Rosen will go into the squat snatch here, and that looked very good. Little bit of shoulder instability from Helbig, but he did lock it out. Rosen was already changing his weights and getting ready for the next one. 1 more snatch to go for each of the other 3 guys.
Pete Mason in the back in the gray shirt. Ethan Helbig in the foreground.
There. And everyone's cleared the 245. They'll bump it up. 255 next. They'll only need to do 1 snatch at this weight.
Kenya Clark, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. I dedicate this show to you. Happy birthday to Kenya Clark, 32 years old. Kenya Clark has a podcast worth checking out. I think it's called Black and White. Not Black and White. It's not Black and White. Darn it. I apologize for not knowing the exact name. I don't even know my own exact name.
So I'll be curious to see here, 255, getting close to the weight. Their goal is to clear the ladder. Look to see if they take a little bit more time after the jump rope before they make an attempt on this one.
Jack Rosema snatched 305 at Granite Games, and if you remember, there were only 3 attempts. So you went out on the floor and you only got to touch the bar to attempt to lift 3 times, and he managed to hit 305 there. So I would expect him to be over 305 today.
Are the double unders affecting their ability to get these snatches up?
This is what
I think maybe
right
with the
here.
guys.
There you go. Pete and Ethan went pretty quickly to the barbell. Ethan is able to hit it. Pete was not. James is taking his time and is just now setting up. So a little bit more time before attacking pays off for Sprague there. Pete Mason has already had a missed attempt and now has to reevaluate here.
That's shocking to me too, because he's got such a strong clean and jerk. Oh, wow.
Looks like the right elbow just didn't quite lock out there. He's got about 25 seconds if he's going to give it 1 more attempt.
And this is 255.
It's your point, Sevan. Yeah, it's definitely the double unders do create a little bit of shoulder burn and instability for those that may not have the best overhead position.
Pete Mason on your left in the gray shirt. His 3rd attempt. Nice, buddy. Nice work.
Okay. Now the 30-second interval for the final round has already started here. Obviously, he has to change his weights, and he has to do so before he can pick up the jump rope. So he'll be playing with a little bit less time, while the other guys probably already be done with the double unders, maybe by the time he picks it up.
And this is the first time we've seen this. We didn't see this problem at all in the other heat. And like Brian said, this one was going to look different than the first one, and it is.
Well, not for Jack Rosemont. And my apologies for not having that recorded snatch of his. And so now for Jack, I mean, he has blitzed through this ladder. He already knows the weights from the previous heat. There's weights on the board of 290, 305, or 310 maybe for Dennis, and 322. So we'll see how he chooses to go about that, kind of knowing that.
Ethan Helbig asking for a little help from the crowd.
He will be the next one to attempt this lift.
Oh,
that
yeah.
honestly was one of his best snatches of the whole ladder. Looks like James will be next up. It's a big lift here for both James and Pete. You want to hit this in your first attempt. Great position for James.
Nice.
Wow. Wow.
Very nice.
Good job,
Now
Sprague.
he's excited about that, but he knows that there's an opportunity for him now to make a PR, which is what his goal was for today. And we don't know how big of an impact every lift might matter here, so he needs to recompose himself. He's checking with his team right now. Actually,
275
Ed
or
Mao,
270. Just
Tudor's
needs to be
coach, is
conservative.
advising him on what to do. So Pete Mason, grateful, and Mao's out there, not able to hit the last lift. He will have to do the tie break. So what we're going to have here is, while the other three guys transition to the 3-minute window where they have a opportunity for 1 rep max.
So
Pete
he'll
will
start
have
at
to
minute
take-
12. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete
Jack
will have
just
to
missed the
rest and then do one minute of overhead squats at 185. So we'll have two different things going on the floor here.
Oh, wow. He knew it. Nice. That's awesome.
That's a big lift for him. He hasn't hit over 265 in a few years, he said. So well done for Ethan there. James setting up,
270.
I think 270.
Oh, come on. You got that, baby.
That's a good miss.
But you
That's a
know
good
when
miss.
you miss it behind that he has that. And
He's
this
gotta
is the weight
punch
he
up.
knows he can hit.
He's got to punch up on the bar and meet the bar with a little more aggression in the shoulders. It's there. Take your time. Take your time. It's there.
So while these other guys still have about a minute 45 to lift, 10 seconds from now, Pete Mason is going to start the first tie break that we have seen. Jack Rosen was setting up for a lift in lane 4, stabilized under it.
296, did she say?
I think so.
I think she said 290. So Pete Mason
Oh,
is
wow.
starting in on his set of overhead squats here at 185. And he has doing this blind. You know, he doesn't know if anyone else will be in this tiebreak interval with him. He doesn't know what a good score of it is, so he's just got to hang on here. He came into the day in 3rd place.
Yes, James.
James
Yes,
Sprague
get up, buddy.
with a lifetime PR, baby.
Wow. Straight to his girlfriend, I bet.
He just clicked his heels, dude, like Mary Poppins. That's
Mason
awesome.
still has the bar overhead, 30 seconds into his working interval. Helbig is lining up for another attempt.
Oh,
He's under
Oh,
it.
yeah.
my goodness.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh.
the Bronislaw Lankovich pose.
All right, Bronislaw.
And Pete Mason, if you guys didn't see that there, he chose to re-rack the barbell or rack it on his back before going into another set. He's got 8 seconds left. Jack Rosema is setting up for a big lift in lane number 4. And Jack Rosema misses it behind him there as Pete Mason's interval comes to a close. We'll have to check on the counts there.
Wow, it
There's
looks like Jack
23
just jumped to
seconds left.
305 too. He's got 305 on the bar, it appears.
Sorry we missed that, guys.
And Jack missed that lift behind him. I just don't know if he's going to have time for another attempt. There's only 12 seconds left here.
Oh, he's got to go for it. He's going for it. He's going to pull it
James
off.
is lining up. Ethan Helbig is satisfied. Jack's making his way to the bar.
Oh.
Oh, wow, not even. Damn.
Yeah, I don't think Jack quite had enough time to go for that there. Huge PR for James Sprague. He says he's been chasing a PR in the snatch for several months now. So
What was it, Brian?
congratulations to him.
5-pound
He hit
PR.
275 pound PR. Ethan Helbig, I think at 285. Do you think that was Taylor?
I don't know. I think
275?
it was either two. No, he hit 275. I think it was
280.
287.
280.
I think it was two.
He had the
I think it was-
fractionals on there. But
Okay.
either way, obviously James and Ethan, great performance there for them, both clearing the ladder and hitting a lift on the other side of it. We still have the top 3 times coming out of, or scores coming out of heat number 1, though.
See if we can find where Souza is. Souza's camera. Here we go. Susan, can you unmute yourself?
James.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Brian might be talking to James here. Hold on a second. Let's see if we
Ethan, was that a PR?
I just said congratulations to him. He had to go.
I had a double wrist sprain in October of last year. It's 3 pounds under lifetime, but like for me, that's like a tie for lifetime. So I've only hit 260 this year one time in a competition. So like that's 22 pounds. That's my comeback PR. So now we just got to get the 300, which legs are feeling good. Just got to get the wrist there. So.
Awesome
Hey,
job, man.
when he says double wrist sprain, he means I wonder if he meant both wrists.
Yes, yeah, both wrists.
Crazy.
How did that happen?
Maybe doing a heavy clean, you would think. Maybe.
Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure he races like ATVs. It might have happened from an
Ethan,
ATV
nice
wreck.
job, dude.
If you jam your handlebars hard, you can fuck your shit up.
Hey, Ethan. Ethan, people are wondering, what are the double wrist sprain from? What were you doing? It's both wrists, right? You sprained both of them. How'd you do that?
So I was racing ATVs, quads.
Wow.
I was doing like woods racing, and I had a pretty bad accident. I went into a field section blind, and I hit a barrier head on doing 40 mile an hour, and I got 200 stitches in my face, and then sprained both of my wrists. And somehow I didn't break my jaw, probably because my wrist took all the impact. But yeah, so like during quarterfinals, everyone was like, "Oh, you didn't do that good." It's because I didn't snatch anything over 95 pounds until quarterfinals. Then I had to do 185 for reps, and I was doing handstand push-ups on my knuckles with like tape and wrist wraps and once. Yeah, I did like 4 months of physical therapy for my wrist to get like range of motion back, and here we are. So, like I said, I'm pretty pumped with that.
Amazing.
Wow.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah. that's a
Taylor,
good
hard
story.
comeback to come from.
I don't know shit about wrist sprains or getting 200 stitches in your face. That sounds fucked up, dude. It sounds really hard.
Yeah, incredible.
So
Well,
heat
what can we-
heat three on the floor here. We got only 3 athletes in this heat: Mitch McClune, Matt Lugos, Tola Morquinho. 2 of these guys, you know, in Matt and Tola will also be looking to get over 300 pounds, I think, once everything is said and done.
What's Mitch McClune thinking out there? Does he wish he wasn't with these guys?
No, I mean, look, Mitch McClune's actually trained with these guys before, plenty of times being here in Vegas, so he knows where he's at. I talked to him about this workout specifically with that in mind, and he said, I have a number in mind that I'd like to hit, and I can't be worrying about what crazy numbers those guys might put up.
Lizar, can someone explain when guys from Heat 1 will do the tiebreaker if necessary? Do they have an advantage by knowing that the other guys get in the tiebreaker?
So no one in Heat 1 had to do the tiebreaker because they all cleared the ladder. One person in Heat 2 did, and what I was saying is he has to do that blind, and not knowing if anyone from Heat 3 will have to do it or not. And so he's just setting his score to beat, but it might not end up mattering. If Mitch is able to clear this ladder, then Pete's tiebreaker was all for nothing because, you know, he would have finished in that spot anyway. But not knowing that, he has to try to set a good number.
What was his number of reps? Do we know?
I'm not sure. And of course, keep in mind that this is going to be an online competition as well. And there will certainly be a lot of people in the online competition that fall into the, you know, that category that he was in.
It looked to be over 20 without a doubt.
And you can keep going as long as you don't put the bar down. Like
No,
Brian
it's
noticed.
a 60-second window.
Oh, so you could
can
even
put
put
it
it down
down.
and get it back up. Okay.
He just chose to do that instead of snatching it again.
Which is smart.
Event number 3 at the Zelos Games, live from Las Vegas, California. Ace of Spades, final heat of the
Vegas,
men.
California.
Left to right on your screen, Mitch McClune in the blue, Matt DeLugos in the center in the white, and Tola Morquinho on the right in the gray with pink knee sleeves. Starting out here with one interval, 90 seconds, 30 double unders buy-in, and 3 snatches at 185. These guys should make light work of this.
Great shot, Souza.
Tola opting for a squat snatch there, maybe just grooving it like JR was talking about, even though he knows he's got that in the bag, just getting a little squat snatch in early in the workout, and they'll make the change and have plenty of time here to rest before the second interval.
That's the only way to do it, right? Like, why not? You know you're going to do a lot, right, Taylor? Why not oil the groove? Why not do one when it's easy?
I think that's the thing to do. I personally, it's not enough squatting for that to affect anything else other than just getting some good technique
I don't know
reps
what
in.
87 kilograms is.
Perfect.
Patrick Clark, bringing valuable information to Brian Friend. He actually is the foundation of all of Brian's information. Brian, it would be like a naked little boy out in the field without Patrick Clark always feeding him brilliant intel.
Brian, do you know Matt DeLugos' athletic background?
Not entirely sure of that, but I was watching him play basketball yesterday out back, and he made like 15 jump shots in a row.
Well, I just watch him. Everything that he does, like Justin Kotler said, has to be really efficient with his anthropometrics, but he also is pretty explosive for someone as long as he is. Like, just watching him snatch, how easy he makes these lighter weights look. I'm just interested to know. He's a pretty impressive athlete.
So 3 snatches at 205 here. Let's see if Tola opts for the squat snatch for the last rep again. Yep, there it is. Both the other guys choosing to go power snatches throughout. They'll make the big change here, strip off the 25 and the 10, and go to 225 for the last interval in which they'll have to do 3 snatches.
So Taylor, that's the plan. Tola has a plan, as Brian said. It was it was the 3rd rep again.
For sure.
And that's a good. I mean, I think that makes sense. He's not overextending himself by doing an unnecessary amount of squat snatches, but he's getting a couple routine ones in so that he's ready. His body's ready for it when he does need it.
If you're ever wondering how to change weights, every single athlete has used this exact same technique. Stand over the bar and pull the weight on. Every single one. They teach you that at your L1. No, they don't. I'm just joking. They don't.
But they should be teaching you in your affiliate.
Right. Good point.
Last interval with 3 snatches, 30 double unders, 3 at 225. A couple of trips here on the double unders, but not a big deal for these guys. They should have plenty of time with this weight.
I wonder if we get dinged for this audio. Matt McClune on the left, going for it in blue. Easy day. Matty DeLugos, number 2. And in the back, Tola Marqueño. Everyone now has 2 successful lifts, going for the final lift.
Power snatches still for DeLugos. Same pattern there for Tola. Power, squat. Moving forward from here, we'll have 2 intervals where they still have 30 double unders. This time they only have to do 2 snatches. The next weight is 235 for these guys.
What could the judge possibly be telling Tola right there?
It was about the direction he was facing on his double unders, I think. He'd had a couple trips and he turned to the side. I think they want him to face forward.
Fair. DeLugos rocking out a little bit, got the head bob going. Brian's even got a little head bob going.
So be interested to see here at what point DeLugos decides to go to the squat snatch. He's got to get 2 reps in here, and I'm thinking similarly to these guys that at some point it might be worth his while to just do one just for the sake of doing it.
Has DeLugos missed a rep on every set of double unders?
Maybe. Power snatch for Tola in rep 1. Mitch into the squat snatch right away. DeLugos still with the power snatch. As expected, Tola squat snatches the 2nd rep.
And
DeLugos
wow.
stays with the
Continuing to power. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know about that.
The one thing I'm watching when he's doing these power snatches at increasingly heavy weights is his feet position. And it still seems like he's landing basically in his squatting stance and not going into that aggressive starfish position. But he's getting low in the power position. So I'm thinking that 245, I think we're going to see at least 1 squat snatch low.
What's the aggressive starfish position?
A very wide stance in the receiving
Yeah, your
position for
feet
the snatch.
just
That's
get too
outside
wide.
of what you want.
Okay, tell me when you see it. I think I know what you're talking about, but tell me when you see it. I want to see it. And your back's all
hopefully we won't
arched and
see
you're all jacked up, right?
Just Google starfish position.
No, maybe with another qualifier in there.
$4.99 for Brian's naked cam.
Wrong stream, Heidi. Wrong stream.
Wrong stream, he says. Wrong stream.
So again, they have an interval with 2 snatches. This one will be at 2:45.
Mitch McClune in lane number 1 in the blue shirt. In the middle, Matty DeLugos in lane number 2. And on the right in lane number 3 is Tola Morquinho.
I'd be shocked if DeLugos doesn't squat here.
Power.
Powering.
Tola true to form, squat snatching the last rep. And Matt is still in the power position there. But again, his feet are still where you'd want them to be in the landing or receiving position for the snatch.
His turnover is just a little slower.
Yep. So now we're moving into the rounds where there are only 1 snatch. Up to this point, Tola has opted to squat snatch the last rep of every interval. So I'm going to assume that he's going to go for the squat snatch from here on out. And I'm still waiting for DeLugos to go to the power snatch, to abandon the power snatch, that is.
And no pun intended, but Mitch McClune is the underdog here, and he's hanging.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mitch will, certainly expects to clear this ladder. He said he wants to try to make a PR today, and we've already seen that is definitely doable. He comes in with a lifetime best of 285. Matt DeLugos comes in with a listed PR of 315, and Tola Morquinho's lifetime best snatch is 340 pounds. So as we're getting close to that final interval, those are the numbers we're looking at if we're going to see another PR from the men today.
So Tola is going to go for a lift to beat
Tudor Magda. He will
Tudor Magda,
sure. And
322.
I am wrong
Okay.
there. He opts for the power snatch at 255. DeLugos goes to the squat snatch, walks it forward, returns to the designated area, and sets it back down.
How much did that take out of him, that bad lift? How much did that take out of him when you do that? Does that affect all your lifts now? Did that take something out of him mentally, physically?
I don't think so, but I think this is why Taylor is so surprised that he hadn't squat snatched earlier. Why not just do 1 or 2 so that when the weights do get heavy, it's not the first time that you're going into that position?
We'll ask him immediately following the event.
The only thing I can think of is I remember during the LCQ, he had a knee issue and was talking about squatting being an issue for his knee. And I don't know if he's still dealing with that and trying to avoid whatever squatting that he has. I'm not sure. So we'll see.
Last interval before we get to the 1 rep max portion of this competition. Again, they'll have 30 double under buy-in. This time 1 snatch at 265.
Are you surprised to see these guys squatting, doing snatches and sweats? Wouldn't it be better with less friction, freer and shorts?
Yeah, they should all be wearing singlets.
That's what I'm thinking.
Nerds.
I know Heidi would like it.
Or a banana hammock.
Great snatch for Mitch McClune there.
Just slinging your.
There he goes. His first squat snatch, right?
No,
And
he squat
again-
snatched 255, but the shoulders were a little forward. He needs to commit to this one.
Yeah, I mean, just to Brian's point, it shocks me that he didn't squat snatch any reps prior to this because, yeah, it just
Better snatch there, but you still see a little instability in the shoulders. Now,
Just
you know,
rusty.
for a guy like DeLugos, who has 315 pounds that he's done in his lifetime, and he's not had the most solid lifts here at 255 and 265, we'll got to see what kind of jump he chooses to make. Tola's already got his bar loaded up. He's got 295 on the bar, and that's where he's going to open up. Mitch has gone up to 275, I believe 275 to start. He might have fractionals on there. Maybe it's 277.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, though, we saw this with Ethan Helbig. Sometimes
Wow.
those lighter snatches look a lot shakier than when the weight gets heavy. And sometimes as the weight gets heavier, their snatch technique gets better.
Oh wow, that was.
Oh.
Did you see his belt too? It looked like a fucking mover's belt, dude. It looked like he's packing boxes and carrying them upstairs. That's what the belt looked like.
That's hardcore. It's hardcore.
Oh wow, Mitch McClune's got that, I think.
So there you go. That one's
270
a lot cleaner for Matt.
There you go.
277
And
for
Tola,
DeLugos, 295
six,
for Tola.
295.
And look, Tola missed that first snatch behind him, which is, that's not such a big deal. He obviously has that weight, but he cost himself a little bit of time there. And with the snatch of 322 already on the board, you might want to have that time.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get to 322 with that miss.
He's
going up to
think
315.
He's making a 30-pound jump. Those are 15-pound plates.
Whoa. So he's going up to 325. Wow. I don't know
You just gotta
about
wonder how many times in training he's ever practiced making such a big jump.
That's ballsy.
Mitch McClune going for 277.
He's got this.
Matt DeLugos going for 287.
Yep.
Much better for Mitch.
There you go. That's huge for Mitch McClune.
And
Even
finally,
better than the last
DeLugos'
one
snatch
again.
is looking very clean too. That's 287 on the board. There was a 290 out of Leonel Franco in the first heat.
Here we
So
go.
DeLugos
Wow.
really benefit from getting one more good lift here. 325 for Tola.
How much time has he got? 50 seconds?
90 seconds.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow.
And a nice celebration. I
Is he
think
gonna go up
it
again?
It looks like he's just gonna.
He knows he's won it. Z scored, buddy. Come on. You need the points.
Okay.
I tried to bring
Sevan,
Caleb on because
Sevan.
Caleb looks shocked, but we've maxed out the number of cameras we can have on.
Sevan, there is 13 and a half minutes in this workout, so they do have 1 minute or just under a minute left to go. Tola's adding
340
no,
or
no,
337.
no, he's
332.
added. He's going to go for 332, correct?
Okay. Yep.
Mitch McClune's going for 285, which is match a lifetime best. DeLugos going for 290, I believe, which he would match
290.
Leonel Franco if he hits this. Patience in the bottom. There we go.
Wow.
That was good.
Great lesson
Wow.
for
He's
everyone
gotta
who's
keep going.
snatching out there. Don't
Damn,
be afraid to
JR.
wait for it.
JR must have sent him a text.
Making
Don't
me
let
look
me
good,
down,
right?
buddy. Don't let me
Making look
down.
good.
Mitch McClune lining up for his final attempt. Tola Morikino approaching the bar.
Ooh. Okay, Tola.
I believe this is 332.
For the Z. Yep. Oh,
behind
man. He pulled that to
So
the
good
moon.
enough for
That's
the event
fast.
win. Not the massive discrepancy that we thought there might be.
Just
That's
3
gonna be
pounds.
like 198 points, maybe 97. It's not gonna be a lot at all.
I gotta say this real quick,
Hold on.
totally off subject.
Seven, real fast, Seven.
Please.
I
Go
believe
ahead.
they're letting Matt DeLugos attempt to snatch here.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Sounded
That was
she
a
said
300-pound snatch event. Attempt.
okay.
Stop.
I just want to say thank you to Emma, Kendall, Matt Souza, and Ruth. It's 4 people down there with their iPhones who brought you all of that incredible coverage. And the fact that it's choppy is all my fault for not making sure that there was enough upload speed. But what an incredible crew we got down there. Jeremy E. World, I know I often say dumb shit in the chat, but you guys are absolutely crushing. Thank you. I've never seen you say anything dumb. Okay. What an incredible event. Incredible event. I'm excited to see the Z scores.
Yeah, and the Z-score will be, interesting here. I think a lot of people were expecting Tola to have a huge margin over the second place lifter. He did only have 3 pounds over Tudor Magda, so both of those guys are probably going to earn significant points relative to the field. But I think we have 3 guys go over 300, and in a kind of short window to get there. Pretty impressive. A couple others at 290, and only one guy who didn't clear the ladder. So overall, I think it was a very successful event for the men.
Are you shocked, JR, that so many people cleared the ladder?
No, man. Like, I don't know. 265 is like it's not even considered heavy.
Congratulations, man. That was awesome. Did you know you were going to go for that ahead of time, or did you have a game plan going in?
My plan actually before was 285, 305, 315. And then Young Buck put up like a huge number, and like I had to adjust. So I made some bigger jumps. I missed a few, which is atypical, but just kind of got to settle in, make sure moving okay. So I ended up going 295 right to 325, and then it was going to be, if I hit it, that would probably be it. I knew that. And if I missed it, I wanted a chance to go back down if I needed to, just to secure a second or third. That was a really impressive snap from Tudor. I mean, huge PR for him, and he's looked great all weekend. It's really exciting to see, it's like 20 or 19 or something.
Yeah, crazy.
Really, really impressive. It's great to compete with these guys.
Yeah, it looked like there was something going on with the double unders there. Was the rope getting caught on the mat? I saw you kind of change directions.
I'm not quite sure. I think I was on the crack maybe, or I was skipping this and that, not too big of a deal. Thanks, buddy. But that kind of stuff happens, and you gotta stay calm and not get upset. If you get upset on double unders, it's way worse.
Right. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Tola, thank you, buddy. Awesome. Great interview, Souza. We are in the warm-up area at CrossFit Rhino. There's Justin Kotler, the head coach at Underdogs Athletics. You can see that the women are getting ready. Who's that he's talking to right there?
That's Kyra Milligan. She will be in Heat 1 for the women today, or for this workout.
We are about 5 minutes, I think. I think the transition is going to be really quick here. Same thing. Are we going to see the same thing are these weights? Are we going to see all the women clear, just like we saw? Oh, nice. So there you go. Susan, can you show that one more time? Brought to you by technology. This is it, people. iPhone on a tripod.
We got another one over there on this side, and our wonderful ladies that are helping us out today and yesterday.
Hey, during the downtime, do the 3 camera operators come together and talk and compare notes? Are they friends?
Yeah, they're all friends. They're members of the gym and everything else. They're actually hanging out. 2 out of the 3 of them are hanging out right here.
Awesome. Awesome. Great work, guys. They're killing it. Absolutely killing it. Savage. Bailey DiMena. This team is killing it. Thanks to everyone involved. We're listening in now as Andrew Hiller speaks to the judges.
Sevan, to your question about the women, so their last bar is 170 pounds. Every single one of them has a lifetime best that is at or above that. Brittany Weiss's personal PR is 170, Elena Budd's 175, and both Kyra Milligan and Alex Kazan 185. So those are the lowest 1-rep max snatches in the field. On the upper end is Christine Kohlenbrander at 215 and Rose Scott at 207.
Wow. And who's the strongest as a CrossFit Games athlete? What would be the strongest snatch you would see in a competition from a CrossFit Games athlete? Let's start with the women.
For the females, I mean, we've seen people like Christine Middleton, Christine Kohlenbrander hit snatches that are in the 210, 15, 20 range, but in competition, it's not necessarily always. We saw Tia win the max snatch at the games with only a 200-pound lift 2 years ago, so there's kind of a big range of what you might expect in terms of a winning snatch in a competition for the women.
And how about the men in competition? What's the heaviest snatch you guys can remember seeing?
Anthony Davis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was that the 342? That might have been
340. Yeah.
It was 340. It was over 340. 340 or over.
And was that at the CrossFit Games?
It was at Granite Games. I got to jump off.
You the man. Thanks, brother. Peace and love.
See you, Taylor. All right, so women are taking the floor here. And again, if you were not with us yesterday, we're rotating the heats. So these are the ladies that have not had a chance to go first yet. This heat will feature 2 women that train here in Vegas, and Alex Kazan, who we see in the back there in the blue pants, and Kyra Milligan, who will be in lane 3, who we just saw a moment ago. They'll be competing with Brittany Weiss, who's in that kind of camo tie-dye right there on our screen there with the black leggings, and Devin Kim, who is in the background there with the green pants and black sports bra. Both of those female athletes competed with CrossFit Invictus at the games and took 3rd place this past summer.
It looked like Andrew Hiller was talking with Brittany Weiss. It looks like he's having some discussion with all the athletes. Can we take a eavesdrop on that? I think he's telling them that they have to stay in their space. That athlete, Kyra Milligan, threw some punches at Andrew. Andrew Hiller speaking with Devin Kim. I think he's just re-emphasizing the rules of the space that they need to finish the lift in, where they need to start and finish. As we saw earlier, if you start the lift and you walk out of your little box, as long as you walk back into your box before the lift is over, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think he was telling people to make sure all their plates stay in their lane.
Oh, okay. We have Alex Gazan in lane number 1 in the gray top, right in front of us. I believe that's Brittany Weiss.
Yep.
To her right in lane 3, Kyra Milligan.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. And in lane number 4, Devin Kim, who I just had on the podcast, and we did a really a fantastic human being, great podcast, if I do say so myself. I did it a couple days ago. Go give it a listen.
Same
25
format.
seconds.
Yeah, same format for the women as the men. Every interval for 7 intervals will start with 30 double unders. The first 3 rounds will have 3 snatches at increasing weights. Then they'll have 2 rounds of 2 snatches at increasing weights, and finally 2 rounds of 1 snatch. And we'll end at 170. And if anyone clears the ladder, they get the chance to go for a PR in a 3-minute window after that.
2, 1, go. First heat off, ladies, we have lane 1, Alex Gazan, 2, Brittany Weiss, 3, Kyra Milligan, and then 4, Devin Kim. Taking on each piece of space, 30 double unders, and they've got 3 snatches with that barbell at 175. Devin Kim, first lady to get to that barbell.
Ay, sorry guys. Sorry, my bad. That was all my bad. Sorry. Devin Kim working on her second lift.
Yep, Brittany going to the squat snatch here. The opening bar for women is 125. And as with the guys, everyone's able to finish up these lifts in 45 seconds or less. They'll make their first weight change, which they also have to do before starting into the second round. This jump will be from 125 to 135.
The crowd cheers as Alex Gazan gets into her workout gear.
So all these athletes here just trying to stay composed in these early rounds, even though for some of these athletes, the final bar is kind of close to their max. These are relatively light weights to open up for them. And like JR and Taylor talked about in the pre-show, really just trying to use these early rounds to groove the positioning, the technique, and the feeling that you want getting under the bar later on.
Katie says lane 3's ponytail has a mind of her own. That is Kyra Milligan and her ponytail. Closest to you is Devin Kim. In the third lane is Brittany Weiss, and farthest to you can't see at this moment is Alex Gazan.
All stepping up to 3 snatches at 135 here. Again, it seems Devin Kim making pretty quick and light work of this relative to the others. Very deliberate pace out of both Alex and Kyra, and Brittany going to the squat snatch. We're looking pretty smooth so far.
I'm having trouble finding the shot that has all 4. I don't know what camera that is. Souza, camera 2 has a pole in the shot. I don't know if that can be worked on. You're a good dude.
So making another weight change here, going to 145. This will be the last interval during which they have to do 3 snatches.
Except that was camera 1, Souza. Sorry. I know I'm being a pain in the ass. Calling the audible. Brian Spin comes in to replace Taylor Self. What a dude.
And JR.
And JR.
Wait, Sevan, you know that only men named Brian can replace 2 men at once.
I've known that. I've known that. Brian, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Hey, no problem.
Little miscommunication between Devin and our judge there. He was holding up 3 reps for the snatches. She thought she had to go back to double unders. laughs it off, no big deal. She looks incredibly composed so far through this workout. All four ladies working on 3 snatches at 145. Power snatches for Milligan and Gazan. Brittany, as she has been from the start, going with the squat snatch. And Devin Kim throwing a squat snatch in there for the last rep, maybe borrowing a little bit of a strategy from Tola, who is regularly squat snatching the last rep of each interval.
Hey, do you have a problem with Gazan's bottom position at all? About how much she's arching her back?
Hadn't really noticed. I'll check it out in the next round.
Souza, it's camera 2. That pole is actually blocking one of the lanes, and we can't. It actually is placed perfectly, so we can't see the lift. If you could get over there, I know you're doing a lot.
Women are making another change to their barbell here, so we're now entering into the next 2 rounds. They will only need to do 2 snatches. This first round.
Back a little bit into the left, so we can get all 4 bars if we can.
This round, the women have 155 on the barbell, and they will need to do 2 reps at 155.
Devin Kim on the right of the screen going for the first lift.
Did Alex miss a rep?
No, just had a little bit of issue with the double unders there.
Right, yeah.
Alex Kazan still power snatching. Kyra Milligan switching over to the squat snatch here at 155. Let's look for that position you're talking about. That looks to be her comfortable overhead squatting position, Sevan. I bet that was the first squat snatch that she's done so far as well. So maybe it looked a little different in the power snatches.
Fair.
Making another change here, jumping up by 5 pounds at this point. So we got 160 on the bar, and this will be the final round in which they have to do 2 snatches. 30 double under buy-in as always, 2 snatches at 160 pounds coming up for these 4 ladies.
10 seconds.
In case you missed it at the onset, the listed 1 max is coming into these ladies. 185 for Gazan, 170 for Weiss, 185 for Milligan, and 195 for Kim.
Earlier today, just prior to this event, we saw 2 huge snatches, Tudor Magda 322 pounds and Tola Marqueño with 325, representing the men well here at the Zelos Games in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Alex Kazan going to a power snatch there in the first rep. Devin Kim missing a little bit in front of her. Nice patience in the bottom from Alex Kazan as she stands that up. She'll be the first one done with these lifts. Kyra also has him in the bag, and Devin Kim makes the adjustment. All the ladies clear the 160. They're going to make another 5-pound jump, go to 165. And in this interval, they'll only have to do 1 snatch after the buy-in of 30 double unders.
And that's the first miss we've seen, right?
Yeah, and that miss from Devin, I think, was not so much of a strength issue, just being, as can happen very easily with the snatch, just being a small fraction of a degree off, and the receiving position was too far in front of her. So she had missed it forward, reset, and very confidently hit it the second attempt.
Brian, can you tell us what the workout is really quickly?
Yep, you got 7 intervals, 90-second intervals of work. Every interval is a 30-second or 30 double under buy-in. The first 3 rounds, they had to do 3 snatches, 125, 135, 145. Then they had to do 2 snatches, 155 and 160. And now we're into the rounds where they have to do only 1 snatch after the double unders, 165 on the bar for all 4 women.
For those of you who don't recognize, that is Brian Spin below Brian Friend. He is the founder and creator of the Barbell Spin. You go to barbellspin.com. He has a complete Zelos Games viewer's guide there. He publishes several times a day on his website, Everything CrossFit.
Nice snatch for Brittany. 1 more interval to go. So all the ladies will make the final jump here in terms of weight changes that they're mandated to make. They'll load 170 on the bar. They have 30 double under buy-in. and one snatch at 170. If they're able to hit it, then they clear the ladder. They'll have a reset period before going into a 3-minute window where they can establish a 1-rep max snatch. If they fail to clear the ladder, and this 170-pound barbell would match a lifetime best for Brittany Weiss. So if she's unable to do so, she will then have to enter into the tie break, which will be 1 minute of overhead squats for as many reps as possible with the opening weight that they had in this workout, which was 125 pounds.
Brian is referring to Brittany Weiss. She's in lane number 2. She's the one who he just mentioned will be trying to tie her lifetime PR. She also said that she's been working on her strength in this off season, so we're about to see if it's paid off.
She's looked good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, she chose to squat snatch from the beginning, but has yet to miss a rep. So we'll see she's probably going to have the same setup here. Sevan Kim approaching the bar pretty quickly. Alex Kazan will be right after her, it looks like. There's better patience in the receiving position for Kim. Very nice snatch for Kazan. Great position for Kyra Milligan. All 3 of those women will now be getting ready for the 1-rep max portion of this competition. Misses it behind her. Not a bad snatch at all. Needs to remain composed here. She knows she can hit this weight. Just same setup, same commitment. Just be more deliberate in the punch out at the top, and she'll have this one in the bag.
God, Kyra Milligan looked perfect. That was textbook.
Yep, and I know that Kyra also has been working a lot on the snatch, so I'm excited to see what she does in this next portion. Brittany Weiss, second attempt at 170. Much better position there. Easy snatch. And now a great opportunity for her. Here comes Sevan Kim over to give her a hug. As we mentioned, they're teammates of CrossFit Invictus, so you love to see that. Happy for Brittany. And she goes back to loading up her weight for this next part.
Hey, I don't know if it was the camera angle, but her one of her arms looks like it opens beyond the
right arm. Yeah, there's a bit of a almost what you call a hyperextension looking.
Yeah, it looks like it opens beyond straight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been happening to her a couple of times. Okay, we got some lifts in the bank here. Alex Kazan able to hit 175. Kyra, sorry, that was 180 for Kazan.
Devin Kim drops the bar behind her.
I think Kyra also hit 180.
So they have 3 minutes now to set a max snatch. Are we there?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Brittany
we
Weiss
are there.
is approaching the barbell here. If she hits this would be a lifetime PR for Brittany Weiss. Oh my God! You can see it on her face. What a great lift, Brittany.
Crazy. Hey, better than her last lift.
Yeah, that was awesome. And when she's just right into high. She wanted to clear the ladder, she did, and now she's playing with house money, gets a little PR out of it. Sevan Kim, solid snatch.
Easy day.
Alex Kazan also getting under it nicely. A great lift for her, and Kyra Milligan is setting up for her attempt as well. A little snatch pull, just feeling out the weight a little bit. I think we have about 90 seconds left in this workout.
What do you think Kotler said to Kazan there?
He's probably telling her what jump to make next. You have to, kind of keep in mind that there's a limited time variable and only so many lifts you can get. Kyra got the feel of the weight on her last attempt at the bar. Here, let's see if she gives it a go.
I apologize.
I
apologize for the choppiness of that camera.
Brittany going for another, will be a second PR today if she's able to hit it. Not a bad attempt there. Definitely wasn't slow getting under it. So all the women are within 45 seconds of the end of this workout. And at this point, you're probably thinking that whatever this next attempt is, this is the one that you're really wanting to hit. Sevan Kim with 195 on the barbell. This would match her lifetime best if she's able to hit it. Great stabilization in the bottom.
Wow.
Once again, we see that they have patience in the bottom position, trusting the overhead squat. And that's a good score to put on the board in the opening heat here for Sevan Kim, who, if she wants to stay relevant, really in this competition overall, really needed to hit that left. Alex Kazan attempting to go over 200 pounds, unable to do that there, and with only 10 seconds left, unlikely to give it another attempt. Kyra Milligan will be doing so, though. Much better effort there from her. Kazan picks up the bar, but doesn't give it a full go. So I believe that 195 was the top lift. That heat is Devin Gill.
Give me 30 extra seconds.
Yeah, right? Nice job.
Thank you.
Was 195 the plan?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was going, hey, good job, girl. I was honestly going for 190. Anything over 190, I was going to be happy with, so I'm hitting 195, so I'm happy with that. That's my PR, so.
Hey, congrats. That's awesome.
Great. I think that was a tie for her. Is Brian? Friend said that was a tie, Souza, for her lifetime PR, 195.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I can't hear you guys.
Music's on full blast.
No, I have issues with my headphones right now.
All right. Matty DeLugo's talking with his teammate over there, Alex Gazan, head coach Justin Kotler.
That's PR.
Hey.
Another PR.
Brian, what do you think? A lifetime PR for Alex Gazan also. Being in competitions is paying off. Oh, you're muted.
Well, we saw the same thing in the men's opening heat with a couple guys hitting some PRs early on. It was getting warm out here on the competition floor. I had to do a little wardrobe change, given who our guest is.
I like it.
Oh, nice. Who made you that? Sherpa?
The only man that makes Sherps, you know it.
The Sherpa works. Get all your Brian Friend apparel at the Sherpa Works. I don't know how
that was an awesome opening heat for the women. I mean, we saw the elation on Brittany's face. Also cool to see Devin come over and give her congratulations on that. PR for Gazan. I think Kyra had some nice lifts, and Devin Kim has set the score to beat there at 195. So now the ladies coming up kind of know what they have to look at. And, looking into this next heat, there's some, we have our overall leader, Andrea Nistler, coming to the floor, and also Sola Sigurdardottir, who's probably, coming here expecting to make the podium. She's lurking right outside of it at the moment. So she'll be looking to, I think, also put a snatch up around 190 pounds, hopefully. But she is the only athlete in the field who's not from the U.S. She's used to lifting in kilograms. So she'll have, we know that that's a real thing that some of the international athletes have to deal with competing here, and the American athletes have to deal with when they lift with kilos. Sometimes, though, it can be to the athlete's advantage as they're not really sure what's going on, and so they just let their body take over.
Brian, this wasn't the plan to have the strongest athletes in the final heats. This is just how it played out, right? Because we saw that with the men. Tola went last, and now we're seeing that with the women. This is just a coincidence?
I don't think so. I think that in the seeding process, we randomly distributed the athletes, and then knowing that Christine Kohlenbrander, who's not just the strongest snatcher here, but one of the strongest snatchers in CrossFit, and same thing for Tola, we're in those heats. We wanted to give them an opportunity to lift last in this one, and then we seeded everything else around that.
Oh, Jody Lynn. To watch these snatches is priceless. Thanks to the whole crew for giving the people Sevanistas what they wanted. Man, Jody, your generosity is much appreciated. Thank you.
What about a women? Excuse me, 1 second.
Over here in the lane number 1, you have Solga. In lane number 2, we have
Elia Miller. She'll be in the white sports bra there with the black leggings. To her right, in the back offset, there is Elena Buds. She's wearing the white and black. And in the far lane number 4, Andrea Nistler in the black with red leggings.
And Andrea Nistler, it would be a shock if she didn't win this. Is that correct?
This event or this heat?
This event.
No, it would not be a shock if she didn't win this event. There are 2 ladies coming up in the final heat that should be able to snatch more than her. The lifetime best snatch is 205 pounds. Elia Miller's lifetime best is 200 pounds, and I think that she actually thinks she can do more than that, so we'll see what happens for her today. Sola Sigurdardottir comes in with a personal best of 191 pounds, and Elena Buds 175, but she also believes she has a chance to PR on today.
Do you say Solveig's name really last name really fast on purpose so no one can tell if you say it right or not?
Sigurdardottir. That's a really hard one for me, so I practiced it enough until I could.
Sigurdardottir. Like when you drive to Vegas for 13 hours, you're like Sigurdardottir.
Yeah, for 12 and a half of them, that was pretty much it. All right, 30 double under buy-in in every round. In the first round, they have 3 snatches, 125 pounds on the bar for the women here. Most of the women will probably be doing power snatches. For the most part, you may see a squat snatch thrown in as they're just trying to warm that movement up for later on. But expect all 4 of these women. There we go. There's one squat snatch from Elia Miller, just like we saw from Tola Moraquinho, just to get it in the bank a little bit early in the workout. All 4 athletes done with more than half of the time to spare. Athletes do have to change their own weights. If you're doing this competition online over the next 8 or 10 days, make sure that you have all the weights set up for yourself close by so you can do those easily. They'll have 135 pounds on for round number 2. And once again, we'll have the 30 double under buy-in and 3 snatches in this window.
Like Brian was saying, this is not the event where you win the prize money. This is a promotional event. These athletes have their own little small purse, but you can enter this competition, the Zelos Games, and you can win the prize money. Brian, I'd like you both Brians to look at the stance that Andrea Nisler has when she snatches. It is wide.
Yeah.
She's almost in a squat stance.
Yeah, we'll check it out. In general, when you're snatching, you're going to have 2 positions for your feet, the starting or jumping position and then landing or receiving position, which also is usually the position that you would squat in. Yeah, but we'll take a look here. So do the 30 double unders, head over to the barbell, and let's see how Andrea sets up for this one.
She goes from wide to wider. Maybe I saw it in her second one. Okay, watch this one. That's wide. That second one is wide.
Yeah, I mean, this is very casual weight for her to snatch right here. She did go to a little bit of a squat snatch there for the last rep. But I think that just watching her here, while she is still calm and composed, she seems to be more interested in just getting through these reps quickly and taking advantage of the rest while she has it.
It does look like that, right?
For the women. Yeah, I would say so. She's not too concerned about the setup and having everything perfectly dialed in at this point in the lifting. I think, like I said, just trying to really give herself as much time to get the heart rate back down and stay in control of this workout early on. This will be the final round in which the women have to do 3 snatches. There's 145 pounds on the bar now.
Philip Borowski. Some people lift with no feet, meaning their starting stance doesn't change. It already is their squatting and receiving stance.
That's true. It's also a snatching drill or technique that some people will implement. I would say it's fairly rare, but it does certainly exist. $30 double under buy-in. So far, no issues with that for anyone. Heading over to the bar for 3 snatches at 145. See if any of the other athletes decide to throw a squat snatch in here. So far, we've seen both Aaliyah and Andrea do that. Elena Budd's going for the squat snatch there. And so far, Sola Sigurdardottir has remained with the power snatches.
And the closest lane to you is Andrea Nisler, then Elena Buds in lane number 2. In lane number 3 is Elia Miller. And then furthest from you, who you see putting on the weights in the far right-hand corner of the screen, is Solveig Sigurdardottir.
Yeah, Nisler's not, I mean, when her stance to start, I mean, her butt's not getting down very low. So she's using her back a lot more.
Yeah, she almost looks like she's going to hate me for this, but she almost looks like she's moving shit around in her garage rather than doing Olympic lifting.
I mean, it's raw strength, I think, at this point. We'll see if it changes when it gets to be near the max.
We're starting intervals now in which the women double unders stay the same, 30, but now only have to do 2 snatches after that.
Brian, Liz
R. For the women.
Liz R is making an interesting observation. Was Tudor the only competitor this far to wear lifters for this event? Are you seeing from the shot we have now? I don't see any lifters.
No, I think that's right. I noticed with the men that he was the only one to do it. I didn't check with the first heat of women, but no lifters on the floor in this heat. Great observation from that person. Thank you. Squat snatches here for all of the athletes, I believe, at 155. 3 of the 4 already done with this portion of the workout. Elena Buds joining them now. They'll make 5-pound jumps at this point, so they'll load it up to 160, and they'll have their second and final interval with 2 snatches following the buy-in of double unders.
And no one has missed a lift yet. Is that correct?
No missed lifts in this heat so far.
Justin V contributes. Gazan had lifters on.
There we go.
Mr. Townsend, thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. James Townsend in the house. Thanks.
Getting ready for the 5th of 7 intervals, 30 double buy-in, double under buy-in, 2 snatches, 160 pounds on the bar for the women here.
Oh, what's the weight they finish at before they get to start going for a max lift?
Well, they'll end at 170. So they have these 2 snatches at 160. The interval after that will be at 165. The final interval will be at 170. And if you clear the ladder, you unlock a 3-minute window to establish a 1-rep max snatch.
Will Brandstetter, the fact that people have noticed what shoes people are wearing is truly incredible. I'm impressed. Me too.
Power snatches from Sigurdardottir and Miller in rep 1. Both go to the squat snatch in rep 2. Nistler easily clears this round as well. And as she has been throughout the workout, Elena Budd's taking a little bit more time setting up for a snatch in between reps, but still has yet to miss one.
She's pacing that on purpose, huh, guys?
Well, she does have the lowest listed max snatch of anyone in this heat at 175. And I think that, for her, she's much more focused on basically the remainder of this workout. So up to this point, she had to be a little bit more cautious and hopefully set herself up really well for the snatches that are coming up.
Notice at the top too, she comes into a really narrow stance with a 2-step. She's already taking steps forward. Where like Nistler just drags 1 foot to the side and gets it under the bar or under her hips.
Yeah, and looking back, I just looked at a couple of Nistler's snatches on Instagram. That's her starting position on the snatch, is kind of where that knurling starts. On the clean and jerks, it is more narrow. So not sure why she does that. Maybe it's quicker to get down in the squat. But it's working for her.
And that is the norm, right? People snatch stance and clean stance are usually at the same width.
Generally it is, but if you go back and look at some of them, it's
165 on the bar and 3 basically synchro snatches there out of Sigurdardottir, Miller, and Nistler. Bud's lining up for her attempt at 165. Again, no issues, just a little bit slower getting there, but all 4 women will be advancing to the final interval, 30 double unders and 1 snatch at 170.
Is this a PR for any of these ladies?
Nope, not yet. Buds has the lowest PR coming in at 175. Given the ease with which, Sigurdardottir and Miller are basically just power snatch that, you especially curious to see what kind of jumps that they make following this window.
On the left of your screen is Solveig Sigurdardottir in lane number 1, then Elliot Miller in lane number 2. In lane number 3 is Elena Buds, and then furthest on the right-hand side of the screen in the red pants or violet pants is Andrea Nistler.
Final interval here, 30 double unders, then they'll head to the barbell for a 1 snatch at 170. If they're able to hit it, they'll have a reset period where they can load their weights however they want to, and that will open up a 3-minute window for a 1-rep max snatch attempt. Power snatch for Sigurdardottir, easy squat snatch for Miller, power snatch for Nistler, and Elena Buds, as she has been throughout the competition, taking her time here before approaching her barbell. Missed the first attempt there, just didn't look to have the commitment that you need. When you're getting close to your 1-rep attempt on a snatch, you have to commit, from the setup position all the way through the finish here. So she got a chance to feel the weight here and look for her to really get the legs into it and an aggressive finishing position if she wants to hit this. Definitely better, but still not quite there on the finish. Maybe be a little bit more patient into the pull, the final pull into the hip, and really commit to punching it out overhead. She will have time for one more attempt. If she's unable to hit it, then she'll have to go into the tie-break portion of this workout.
How much time does she have? 37 seconds?
5 seconds. Okay, so unable to hit it. So while the other 3 women are now going to be into 1 rep max snatch, she'll have a 90-second window to reset her bar before starting 1 minute of overhead squats. All 3 women hit the opening lift there in this window, and they're making fast and furious changes to their barbell.
Brian is so good at this. I feel like a proud mom right now.
All right, Sigurd, her daughter, can't tell if she has any fractionals on there, but she's got at least 185 on the bar. Again, her lifetime best is 191. Keep in mind that Nistler and Miller both have hit over 200 pounds before. Miller's got the 45s, 25s, and 15s on there, so she already has 205 on the bar. Nistler's going for a 195 attempt. Sigurd, her daughter, also going for 195. Nistler, 195 in the bank. Sigurd, her daughter, sorry. That was 187 for Nistler, 185 for Sigurd, her daughter. 205 on the bar for Miller in lane 2. There she is in the white sports bra, black pants. Steps it out, but does lock out the list. So 205, currently the best snatch we've seen. Sigurd, her daughter, excuse me for earlier, now does have 195 on the bar. Nistler will be attempting 192, and in this right now, Elena Buds is starting her 1 minute overhead squats at 125, which will be her tiebreak. Nistler in the foreground hits 192. On the far side of the floor, Sola Sigurd, her daughter, lining up for her next attempt.
Wow. Wow.
And I think that was 185. I don't think she had any fractionals on there. She's going up to 190. 215 on the bar for Elia Miller in lane 2. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You see it on her face there. That's
Yes.
That is now a 15-pound PR for her. And she told me that she thought she had a PR on the bank. We'll have to catch up with her and see if she expected that big of a jump. She still has time if she wants to go for another one, and that snatch looked pretty good.
That was a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
It came pretty slow off the ground, too.
Very patient lift. Increased speed through the middle. Got into the hip pocket. Andrea Nistler lining up here. And she hits. I think she's got some fractionals on there as well. That should have been 197 for Nistler. 200, I think. Is that what they just called out?
Yeah.
I think this is 190.
That's 200.
She's calling 200.
What did
Although
Solvig just lift?
200 pounds, which if that's true, that's a 9-pound PR for her. We had a 15-pound PR for Miller. Wow.
Celebration for Solvig.
Check, can you check?
We got Souza already on the field.
Bella.
Souza, unmute yourself, please.
All right, so Sevan, in that heat, we had lifts of 215 from Miller, 202 from Nistler, and 200, which is a 9-pound PR for Sola Sigurd, her daughter.
Amazing. My mind. There we go. Here we go. We'll walk as you go.
Yeah, that was a 15-pound PR.
So that was a 15-pound. That was 50-pound PR?
Yeah.
Did you know that you were going to try that going into it, or did you have a game plan?
My original goal was 210, but 190 was real good, so I went for it.
Awesome. Great job. Sevan, any other things?
How's your body feeling?
How's your body feeling?
Good. Yeah. Had a good night's sleep. And not too wrecked from yesterday. We'll see how I feel after going up more.
And she knew she got it when she was at the bottom?
Did you know you had the lift when you were at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Confidently, yes.
Incredible. Thank you.
So awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yep.
Susan, I let you hang there. I apologize. I was multitasking like a mofo. I was texting my wife asking for a fresh cup of coffee. We have one heat left, I believe.
Yes.
Is that correct? And that's going to be the big heat with Christine Kohlenbrander. I think she has the largest PR, largest snatch. If I was listening to Mr. Brian Friend correctly, you're currently looking at the warm-up area, and that is Alexis Johnson in the foreground, then Christine Kohlenbrander, and then behind her is it Jennifer Semprick? What's that lady's name?
Samantha
Where is
Petrick.
it?
Samantha Petrick.
Petrick, yeah.
Samantha. Oh, I had it all backwards. Samantha Petrick, Jennifer Petrick, Samantha Petrick.
And this is the heat where we're going to see a little bit of disparity. Yes, you're right. Christine Kohlenbrander comes in with a 215-pound listed snatch. Aaliyah Miller just hit that. So Kohlenbrander is finding herself in the similar shoes to Tola Morakinyo here, where he probably thought he had a safe number that he could hit to win this thing. And someone, another young athlete in an earlier heat set a mark that maybe was unexpected. So we'll see how aggressive she ends up being in trying to chase that down. You also have Rose Scott in this heat. Rose Scott comes in with a 207 lifted lifetime best snatch from the floor. She told me she's hit 220 from the blocks before. And like many of the other athletes, feels that this workout sets up really well for a potential PR for her.
What does that mean, Brian? What does that mean, 220 from the blocks?
The barbell starts on the elevated surface instead of from the floor.
How high off the ground?
Didn't ask her that.
All right. Do you know, Brian, is there standard block height?
No, I mean, you can go at any height. I mean, 2 inches, 3 inches off the ground, all the way up to, mid thigh. If you want to do that, I mean, you see all those road blocks that they use.
So Rose Scott has a 220 off the blocks, meaning that from that position she can stand up when she catches
Real
it
Brian.
overhead.
Fake Brian.
Both Brians, all the Brians. It looks like in lane number 1 is Samantha Petrick. Then in lane number 2 is Christine Kohlenbrander. Lane number 3 is Rose Scott, speaking with Andrew Hiller. And in row number 4, we have Alexis Johnson.
Exactly right.
And what Brian was referring to is earlier, Tudor Magda got a 222 lift, forcing 322 lift, forcing Tola to get to 325. And we had the similar thing happen just now. Aaliyah Miller. Aaliyah Miller. Thank you, Brian, fixing me on the fly. Hit a 215, which is a 15-pound lifetime PR, thus putting the pressure on the heavyweights in this heat, especially Christine Kohlenbrander.
And do keep in mind, like that lift of 200 pounds from Sola Sigurdardottir was a huge lift for her. We talked about it coming in that this was she's coming off of a games appearance. She's wanting to finish on the podium here for sure. And she was just outside to start the day. So putting a lift there, better the lift than Devin Kim. Yes, it's not the top lift so far, but a 9-pound PR for her. So that was, well, maybe Aaliyah steals the show a little bit. Also a tremendous lifetime best lift there for Sola.
Steve, that was my point exactly. Sorry if I didn't characterize it that way, but yes, off the blocks does mean that the pull is shorter. But what I'm suggesting is that she still shows the capacity from probably a squat snatch to stand it back up. That was my point exactly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can get in a better position off the blocks if you're get out of position off the floor. So sometimes some athletes are actually better at that.
All right, final heat of the Ace of Spades workout number 3 here at the Zelos Games 2022 live competition in Vegas. The athletes have 7 intervals. Each interval starts with a 30 double under buy-in, followed by a fixed number of snatches at an increasing weight. The first 3 rounds all contain 3 lifts, and the opening weight on the bar for the women is 125 pounds. And all of the women making 125 here look pretty light. Sam Petrick opted to go for a squat snatch there for her last rep. We have seen several athletes use that method. You see how easily this snatch goes up there for Christine. And while both Christine and Roe were a little bit slow getting off their first set of double unders, all the athletes finished under 50 seconds and making their first weight change. They'll go up to 135 here, and the second interval will look just like the first one, 30 double unders and 3 snatches. There are actually one lifter's on the floor. Rose Scott is wearing the low-profile Innovates, and Sam Patrick is wearing some lifters from Nike. So we got 2 and 2 in this heat.
All right, Halpin. You're 0 for 2 today, Halpin. 0 for 2. I have not seen anyone make the lift look that easy, as easy as Christine Kohlenbrander just made it look. Like it was nothing.
Accurate.
Oh, what is the weight that they're about to lift, Brian?
135 in this interval, and they'll have to do it for 3 reps.
When you see the hand go up, that means they have 5 reps left, and the judges don't count down for them from there with their fingers.
Much cleaner run on the double unders. They're counting down for the snatches.
Okay.
It's, the double unders happen so fast that you can easily make a mistake. Here with the snatches, it's a very deliberate dropping of the rep, and especially as the reps go up, it's good to be able to see what rep number they're on. They'll change the weights out here, bump up to 145. This will be the last round that they need to do 3 snatches in.
30 seconds.
What is this new weight we're going to? We're now at 145?
Yep, 145. 10 seconds out, starting the third interval out of 7. This will be the last one they have to do 3 snatches in. 30 double unders, 3 snatches at 145. Sam Petrick in the far side of the screen with the white and purple. Christine Kohlenbladder in the black sports bra. Rose Scott in the back there with the blue leggings. And in the foreground was Alexis Johnson in all black. No issues with the double unders there. All the women approaching the bar at 145. 3 reps here. And now we're going to start to see if any of these athletes start to go to the squat snatch at all. Petrick going to the squat snatch on the first rep. The other ladies opting for power snatches this far. And Alexis Johnson still getting the power snatch as well.
Any signs of struggle here?
I mean, so we talked a lot about both Christine and Rose Scott having, should have no issue getting through this ladder. Alexis Johnson's lifetime best snatch is 187, but she's had a few things health-wise in the last couple of years where she hasn't snatched that heavy in quite some time. Even though she's power snatching here early, I think that clearing the ladder would be a good day for her. And Sam Petrick is more or less in the same boat where her best snatch lifetime is right about what the final weight in the ladder is for the women.
Once again, guys, Alexis Johnson in lane 4 here, then Rose Scott, then Christine Kohlenbrander in lane 2, and in lane 1, Samantha Petrick.
We're now into the 4th round. The 4th round of this workout means that they only have to do 2 snatches. So 30 double buy-in, double under buy-in stays the same. They have got 155 pounds on the bar here, and they'll need to do it twice. As has been the case in every round, Alexis Johnson first time with a double unders. No issues for anyone there. Rose Scott goes to the power snatch still. Christine Kohlenbrander expected to do the same. Alexis Johnson with a good rep. Roe does opt for the squat snatch there, and her coach is nodding at her as if that was part of the plan. Squat snatch for Petrick. She set it in the bank. Kohlenbrander easily clears the ladder. Alexis Johnson stands up her second rep. She'll be moving on. One more lift in this round will be from Sam. A little bit of elbow bend there on the left side. She'll take a reset, and she's got about 35 seconds to try to hit it again.
How tall is Rose Scott?
Not very tall. 5'1", maybe. Much better lift there for Sam. So all the women will be moving on to the 160-pound barbell. And again, they'll have to do 2 reps at this weight. So 30 double unders, 2 snatches at 160. round number 5 of 7 here.
So Samantha Petrick is barely getting her weights on time to be lined up with the other girls as double under start. Matter of fact, she won't be. She won't get to her jump ropes in time. Still fidgeting with her bar.
Yeah, and she was smiling with someone in the crowd there after missing that one lift. So she might just know where she falls relative to these women in this workout. She's still obviously going to give it her best and see what she can do here, but I don't think she's in a rush necessarily. She just wants to take her time and give herself the best chance to hit that next bar. Squat snatch right off the bat for Rose Scott. Christine still doing a power snatch. Alexis goes to the squat snatch right away. Rose Scott and Christine waste absolutely no time getting right back under it. And even at this point in the workout, they're getting all this work done in under 37 seconds. Patrick, nice lift there. First one in the bank. Alexis Johnson gets under her second one. She'll be moving on to the 6th round of this workout. Sam Patrick, plenty of time here. One lift to go. 160 pounds on the bar. She needs to hit it one more time.
She looks long, and is she the tallest athlete out there, Samantha Petrick, Brian?
I think she's about the same height as Christine Kohlenbrander and Brittany Weiss. They're all probably right around 5'7". Sola Sigurdsdottir as well. Much better round here. 2 successful lifts, 160 in the bank. So we're moving into the 6th round. Got about 10 seconds until then. 165 will be on the bar, but the ladies only have to hit it once.
And you were stating earlier that 165 is Samantha Petrick's. No, 170 was her lifetime PR.
That's what we had. I had her listed at 170 in our notes beforehand. I didn't get a chance to talk to her this morning. We are getting into the realm of weights here that Alexis Johnson hasn't hit a lot since having some health issues a couple years ago. So let's see how it goes. Easy lift for Rose Scott in the background. And for the first time, Christine goes to the squat snatch. Great lift for Alexis there. Don't know how it feels for her, but it looked very strong. Sam Petrick, as we would advise her, taking her time, chalking up, posing herself, and hopefully setting up for a great attempt here at 165. So it's just that left elbow that seems to be collapsing. It was the same issue she had in the first lift. If she wants to hit this, she really needs to commit to the finish on the left side and trust that the right arm is going to do its thing.
So, Brian, after this 165 lift, they'll all do 170. And then after that...
So she's going to take one more attempt here. The other ladies will be transitioning into the final round. And, yes, the bar will be at 170 for them.
And that's the final bar, correct?
She hits it. Very nice. Now she has to change her weights, but she has made it into the last interval. What that means is if she fails to hit the last interval, then her tie break will come into play with the one that we saw in an earlier heat. In the meantime, the rest of the ladies are cruising through their double unders and getting set up for their 170 barbell.
God, Christine's still making it look so easy.
So is Roe. It's looked easy.
Nice lift for Alexis there.
Very nice.
So all three of those athletes have cleared the ladder. They'll have a reset period. And then they'll be starting their 3-minute window to establish a 1-rep max snatch. We'll check in with them and see what their opening weight ends up being. In the meantime, Sam is getting set up for her attempt here at 170.
Philip, I hear that also come and go. I think it has something to do with the music they're playing, or something has happened. There's some low bass or something going on Brian's mic for the first time today. But it's the first I've heard it all weekend. We're at the Zelos games workout.
Go ahead, that
Brian.
noise is just a part of this song, I think. 170 on the bar for Petrick, and she hits it. Great lift for Sam there. All right. So the 3-minute window opens up. They'll have 3 minutes, as many attempts as they want to hit a 1-rep max snatch. Rose Scott setting up for a lift. She hits it easily. Alexis Johnson hits her opening attempt. Great lift for Alexis there. I believe that was 175 for her. Christine Kohlenbrander, easy lift at 195, I believe.
Wow.
I think Rose Scott is loading her bar to 195 now, having hit 185. I believe Alexis hit 175 and is going up to 180.
So just so you guys know, there are 2 minutes left in what was a 3-minute time domain for the athletes to set a max snatch. The current record in the women is 215 pounds, set by Aaliyah Miller in the previous heat. They now have a minute and 40
Alexis
seconds
hits
left.
another snatch, 180 on the board for her, and I think she's very happy with that. She'll probably make a small jump. Yep, going up to 185. Rose Scott with 195 on the bar. She'll set up for her second attempt in this window. A little bit instability in the shoulders, but no problem standing it up. Count it as 195 for Rose Scott. 175 on the bar for Sam Petrick in lane 1. Not quite there on that one. Christine Kohlenbrander going for 215. This would match Aaliyah Miller from the previous heat. A big jump here, 20 pounds. And it makes it look easy. Great lift.
Wow.
She does have 90 seconds left, and with the Z-score being in play, we'll be paying attention to see how big of a jump she chooses to make. Alexis Johnson setting up for another attempt. And an awesome lift for Alexis. Look at the emotion. Wow. I believe that was I think that was 185, which is within 2 pounds of her lifetime best, and I am very confident that's the best she's done in quite some time. Rose Scott, she's got 205 on the bar. She stands it up. That puts her into third place right now overall. Sam Petrick giving it another go. Just not able to get underneath it with the left arm again. 225 on the bar for Kohlenbrander.
Oh. That right arm looked compromised a little bit. That was scary.
Missed rep for Alexis Johnson. 23 seconds left here. So really we got about one more good attempt for everyone. I think that at least 3 of the women are going to give it a go. We got 215 on the bar for Rose Scott, 225 on the bar for Kohlenbrander, 175 for Sam Petrick, and 190, which would be a lifetime best for Alexis Johnson. 225, good for Kohlenbrander. All the others miss, and Christine Kohlenbrander takes the event win, 10 pounds ahead of Aaliyah Miller, who is 10 pounds ahead of Rose Scott, who will take third in this event at 205. Wow.
God, I hope someday we have instant replay. That was incredible.
Wow.
We are at the Matt Souza cam. Travis from Vindicate.
That was incredible. Was that a PR for you?
It was. I hit 220. I tested this workout, and that was a 5-pound PR. And this is another.
Wow. Were you planning to do that today?
I was hoping to be able to hit 220, but when I hit 220 in practice, I was like, I think I could have done a little more. So.
That's awesome.
Susan, what's your lifetime PR?
What was your lifetime PR? Sorry, it just
220.
220, 5-pound PR.
So not just in this workout, but her lifetime PR was 220. Incredible. Important distinction. Isn't it fascinating to you, Brian, that people do that? It's in the middle of a workout, and yet they're setting lifetime PRs on these lifts that are lifts that usually, you would just be focused on that particular lift to get the PR?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you're an Olympic lifter, and that's the setting that you're always training in, where you're never doing anything else, maybe. But I can't tell you how many times I've been doing a workout and I look at the last weight of a snatch, if it's a ascending weight snatch workout or something like that, coupled with other stuff, and I'll get into it, and then I'll end up hitting the weight almost more smoothly or easily than I can on the days that I'm going for the 1-rep max. In particular here, like JR was talking about, the double unders are just a little bit of a primer for the shoulder and the heart rate. And with all those lifts that you're forced to do early on, even though they're lightweight, you're just getting the body ready for that. So I think as we kind of expected with this workout, the design of it does set itself up for some pretty impressive and possibly even lifetime best lifts. And I'm hopeful that, we saw a ton of them here this morning and it was amazing, but I'm hopeful that a lot of people doing it at home can have a similar experience.
Elmar. Go ahead, Brian.
Henneveld.
Elmar Henneveld. Awesome coverage. Thanks to the entire team. $5.99 of Euros. Is that an E? I'm going to say euros. Tony Andrews, I think Hiller will be getting a lot more respect, subscribers, and taken more seriously after this. Oh, hold on. The fat lady hasn't sung yet. I like this little tour that Sousa's giving us of Vendor Village. These vendors are super duper important to keeping these events going. By the way, those are RX Smart Gear. I probably have 30 of those ropes that Dave over there, I think the owner's name is Dave.
He was actually showing me that one that Sousa was just scrolling over yesterday. It's one of his these like green, pink, yellow, blue. These are adjustable ropes where if you take the handle off inside, there's some little clicks that you can make. And Dave was telling me about them yesterday, and he's super proud of the design on those.
Yeah, those are the exact ones my kids use, Three Plane Brothers. We purchased those, and they absolutely love them. If you have kids and you don't have a jump rope, buy one now from RX Smart Gear. This is the Paper Street Coffee booth. These are a huge supporter of the Sevan Podcast. There's Gabe, the owner, rocking the CEO shirt. Go to paperstreetcoffee.com. Don't spell out street, just put ST. And it's 20% off between now and Thanksgiving. And it's the only coffee I drink, and it better be the only coffee that the Bryans drink. I'll take a box of those, please, whatever those are. I'll eat those when no one's looking. Can we pull up the Z score, Mr. Beaver, and start to take a peek at what is going on? I'm guessing the men's scores are already up. We'll be wrapping the show up here, just so you guys know. In the next 10 minutes, we'll be taking a small 1 hour break, and then we'll be coming back. And Tudor Magda still in first place with Tola Moraquinho in second place, Leonel Frankel in third place. I don't think Tola was in second place.
No. There's been a lot of changes on the leaderboard here, and that was as expected. We we had talked about maybe Matt DeLugos making a big jump up. He didn't have as successful of a snatching event as we thought there, but Tola did have a great event, obviously. He's well behind Tudor, but he's put 20 points between himself and Franco. But I'm looking there between Franco, Rozema, Samsonov, and Sprague. There's a pretty tight spread. And going into this last workout, remember that we're reseeding the athletes for the first time. So they were competing with the same group of athletes that was randomly determined prior to this competition. Based on their performance in the first three workouts, the bottom, in this case, three athletes, Mitch McLuhan, Logan Ewan, and Ethan Helbig, will be in Heat 1. The Lugos, Mason, Sprague, and Samsonov in Heat 2. Rozema, Franco, Moraquinho, and Magda will be in the final heat for the final workout this afternoon.
I would like to respond to this really quick. Harry J, good point. Harry, and it's Harry D. I think you have a typo. I don't want to take away from nothing Hiller as being head judge. I don't want to take away nothing from Hiller, but head judging 4 people on every heat, it's less complicated than running 10 to 20 athletes, but it is perfect judging here, quality and quantity. That is the exact same truth about doing the broadcast here. Covering 4 lanes is much easier. That being said, I would also like to let you know that this budget is hundreds of thousands of dollars less, maybe millions less than any other event also. So just to if we're going to contextualize part of it, it's a fair comment, but we should contextualize the whole thing. The creator of the Z score in the house. Don't throw rocks at him. He's not a bad guy. Oh shit, I keep doing that, Caleb. Sorry, I keep messing you up. Tyler Watkins. Very quickly here. Are we okay with how the Z score played out in the snatch event, Tyler?
Yeah, essentially it all boiled down to their snatch weight. Only one athlete got tie breaks in both the male and the female, so that didn't have to come into play at all. I just used their final snatch weight, which was really the point of the entire workout, was how much they could snatch. So
did you guys get saved because there was no tie break?
No, I had contingency. I had other methods we could use if we had to get into the tie breaks, but no, it's fine. I love the way it is. Actually, it gets down to the basis of what this test was for, strength.
Brian Spin, you are a nonpartisan, non-biased journalist. Are you okay seeing the Z score here at this illustrious event in the world's capital, Las Vegas, Nevada?
I am. I mean,
when you think about just the game scoring in this type of 4-event competition, where everything's spaced out equally, you usually end up having a few athletes that are fighting for the podium, and they all average about the same place over those 3-4 events. This, you have every second counts, every pound counts, and you see that third place only got 81 points compared to second place in 98, which that gap from 305 to 322 is massive.
Stand by. Hold that thought. Stand by. I apologize. Can we get in closer to see this amazing reporting from Lauren Khalil of the Morning Chalk Up?
Yeah.
Making a YouTube video, it's like, how do you make somebody want to watch it? Make them want it there. And they're like, "Can you come to the video on this?" And I'm like, yeah, but I see the retention is 7 minutes. It's good. Most people can stay watching it. The athlete briefings that I've ever been to, they look left and left, right? People are on their phones. And I sit there, and I often am just like, show again. We know this, we know that. But wait, that was important, and then everyone misses it because they weren't paying attention. So it's easier when they know what they're supposed to be doing, I believe, and then see. And then when I'm on the floor, the judges are working it, and if it's not happening, it's like, hey, just so you know, and then the athlete takes it right away.
So what has the response been from the athletes when it comes to like good reps versus bad reps and actually having you here?
They're not their best behavior. And at which rate, there's been very few instances where there have been hiccups, and if there have been, it's been 90%.
We know that you've been very outspoken about, judging and making sure the athletes receive penalties when the reps don't look good. But now you're here in person. Do you have a different perspective and maybe even a little bit of grace to some of the judges, or do you feel like everything you've thought and said before is accurate?
400 level on common sense is the way that we're going about this. And people are going, never doing this, you're going to mess it up. And it's like, well, as long as
Closer.
the priority is to make the athletes move.
Closer.
Make them know what's going on, know what to expect.
Closer.
And if they do something wrong, common sense is if they do that thing wrong, put the things in place that go in the way that they should be going. As long as it's standard. So, for example, this last
Closer.
there's athletes on the ends. Come on over and said, hey, keep your plates to the legs a couple of times.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if there's a lane over there, there's a wall over there. There's not a wall for this person, but they still have to do the same thing. I'm like, okay, I get it. They get it. 400
Closer.
Do you like judging in person? Is this like a new
Closer.
hobby that you're going to
Closer.
go back to?
I'm with Jackson. Great. Depends on who asks what the opportunity looks like. And I'm not going to go out and say, hey, bring me. Maybe I will say, bring me in. But I've kind of said, this is my crew, we're a pirate ship. I'm like the captain of the pirate ship.
Are you Captain Hook?
Jack Sparrow.
I want to hold on here 1 second. I'm going to give you a little update on what I'm hearing. No, Souza, stay there, Souza. Basically, Andrew Hiller said the athletes are on their best behavior. He's being interviewed by Lauren Khalil, who's doing an amazing job with the Morning Chalk Up. You can see the full interview if you go to the Morning Chalk Up. I'm sure it will be up this evening on their YouTube channel. She asked him, "Do you have more grace for the athletes in regards to the strong criticism you've given in the past?" And I didn't hear the complete answer, but he said, "Hey man, I'm just working off of common sense." And so he didn't necessarily answer the question, but I think he stood his ground. And then she asked him finally, would you do more events in the future? And he basically gave it depends. Let's listen in more.
Challenge the muscle up, so we said that in practice. We said if you were to challenge it when you are done before you leave the floor, tell us what, and it will be done. And at which rate total goes, I believe I hit that muscle up within the time domain. There was an issue of whether or not it was like a full repetition, or whether or not it was within the time domain. Could have done either, but there's video evidence that I have that we'll share at some point of this is how it's supposed to look. The whole world can see it. And he's happy, and if he weren't happy, there's video evidence showing.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt Souza. You can see, like I said, that complete interview. It will be up this evening on the Morning Chalk Up. Thank you, Lauren Khalil, as usual, for all you do.
Yeah, and hey, can we give Lauren Close some love? Her T-shirts that she's rocking right now are actually live. Caleb, I sent you the link. Can we drop that in the comments in case people want to go check it out for piggybacking off all her hard work today?
Yeah, if we are out of stock of CEO shirts, I totally approve of buying one of those. Okay, back to the Z-score. Brian, I know it's been a while since I interrupted you. Do you remember where you were at?
Yeah, I mean, just if you sort the ace of spades point totals, I mean, you look at just first, second, third, and fourth, and rather than just having a 12-point gap or 8-point gap per spade for order, you see that Tudor was only 3 pounds less, so he doesn't lose as much to Tola, whereas Dennis and Lionel and the whole group down at the fourth place finish, I mean, they have to go lift more, and so it's giving the athletes the right points based on their actual performance rather than just where they finish in a workout.
Right now, you're looking at the leaderboard organized by event number 3. Is there anything else we want to say about the men before we switch over and look at the women's scoreboard?
What did Tola jump to on the final barbell?
225.
No, not 225.
325. Sorry.
That he missed his last lift. What did he miss?
As I recall, maybe Brian remembers better, but as I recall, he missed and then he went back. He missed 325 and then he went back and did it again. No?
I thought he went for like 330 or something like that. 332. That's what it was.
Okay. That sounds right.
But I like that he pushed.
Brian, you're muted. Brian, you're muted.
He was running low on time, and that's the thing that we had talked about, where he had that one miss in the beginning of the 3-minute interval. I think if he'd had maybe 10, 15 extra seconds, that he could have hit the 332.
Yeah. I like that he pushed it there, though. You could tell he looked to somebody to think should I go for this? And I appreciate that he did that. Just I know I can make a lead here. So that was good. I really enjoyed watching that.
And what you're suggesting is that he wouldn't have gone for that lift if it wasn't Z-score.
Absolutely. I think he would have stayed at 220 or 325 and just said, good. But we got to see the opportunity there. If he had hit, it would have been huge. We would have seen him snatch 332. Have we ever seen a weight like that in live competition? Yeah.
Yes. Anthony Davis. But the point remains is that 325 locks up the win. Knowing the scoring system, he's incentivized to try another bar. What I'm kind of looking at here on the leaderboard is because we were wondering how much the snatch workout would weigh into the overall results. And we see that, the guys who were able to snatch a lot, Magda, Tola, Lionel, Jack, and Dennis were the top 5 snatchers, and they are currently in the top 5 overall. But James Sprague and Peter Mason were 2 of the worst snatchers relative to this field, despite James hitting a PR today. And there's not out of the equation there for a podium finish. We've seen big jumps and swings in the leaderboard already. James has already told me that he's ready to attack this final workout. Obviously, he's not, he didn't get a ton of points in the snatch, but he PR'd his snatch. You saw how excited he was. So I think that by the time everything's said and done, it looks like Tudor's going to clearly be the class of this field. But for the next 5 or 6 guys, there's a lot to fight for going into the final.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Tudor holds up in the last event. I don't know how he is at that time domain sort of work capacity stuff. I mean, it's his to lose at this point, but that 50 points could go away easily if Tola's in better condition. But I don't think that that's true now that I'm thinking back about it.
2 comments I'd like to address. Nash Quinn's did Tudor set a 20-pound PR? I think that is accurate.
22-pound PR.
And Jethro Cardona says Mason 255, Columbrander 225. Holy shit! And I think that's fair.
Obviously, great snatch for Christine, and like we had kind of speculated, she had a number in mind. She'd hit the 220 before. We didn't know that she'd hit it in practice, so to be able to exceed that and the competition for when she needed to, if she wanted to have the outright win, was a great accomplishment for her. She did it really with no accessories on either, no belt, no lifters, just snatched 225.
And it's a lifetime PR in the snatch, regardless of environment. Okay. Can we swing over to the ladies who competed here at the Zelos Games kind of launch of their online competition, which will take place between now and November 21st. Go over and register now. We have in the women who are competing, the 12 women competing, the top woman is Andrea Nisler with 271, Christine Kohlenbrander with 248, Alex Gazan with 218, who also, I believe, hit a lifetime PR, Devin Kim in fourth, who tied her lifetime PR, and 5 is Solveig Sigurdardottir.
We shouldn't stop there. Solveig hit a lifetime PR, and 6th, Aaliyah Miller hit a lifetime PR.
Hey, when you hit a PR at a competition like that, does that right away be like, okay, it was worth coming here? Like you got something from the competition, you got something from the crowd. You, like, okay, check the box. That was smart. I came.
I mean, I would say yes. And of all the women on this list that did hit a lifetime PR, I think the best case example of that is Brittany Weiss. You know, she's not having an amazing competition in terms of results, but you saw she was stoked hitting that PR there at the end of the competition. And yeah, there's just not that many opportunities where you necessarily get to do that in front of a crowd. So it's a huge accomplishment, regardless of what the number is, for any of the women or men that were able to do that today.
Is that what DeLugos was doing at the end? I figured maybe he was just snatching to see if he could hit a PR. Because he was out of his time limit.
Yeah, he had just loaded up to 300 and was going to go for it.
Okay, fair enough.
What has the Z score done to Samantha Petrick?
I mean, I knew going into this event that she wasn't going to have a great snatch.
Well, I mean, just look at her event finishes. It's absent of Z score. If you're 11th and 12th and 11th out of 12 women in a field, you're going to be in the bottom of the pack. So I don't think the scoring system really matters there. She's, those are where her event finishes have been, and that's the resulting score. What makes it look so much like an outlier is that it's such a big gap from the next person up. And even though she only has that person is Kyra Milligan with the 10th and 9th and the 9th, it might not seem that drastic. But if you start to look, you have to get a little bit more granular and look at what were their actual results in those workouts, which we don't see on this screen here, just is showing the place and the points. Oh no, it is showing the tie. So you can see that she was, a few points back on the event 1 with the muscle ups, but she was 40 seconds behind her on the event 2 and 10 pounds behind her on that event. And we talked about with the 12-person field how things are going to get strung out regardless. And so if you find yourself on the back end of those curves, the penalties start to be severe. And that is what the nature of the Z-score does.
If you zoom out, Sevan, you can see what the game scoring would have been. And so Samantha would have had 52 points in game scoring, but she would still be 50 points out. There you go. 48 points out from Kyra Milligan. So it's like, what's it doing to her? It's not really doing anything. Is where she is. The points are just justified a little bit more.
And to add to that, what Tyler just said, if we were using game scoring, the top 4 would still be, top 5 would still be in place. Andrea Nisler, Christine Kohlenbrander, Alex Gazan, Devin Kim, and Solveig Sigurdardottir.
Now, the thing that might be, you maybe should watch, what I usually like to do during competitions, I rescore every competition, particularly like at Wadapalooza last year. I was scoring it, and I could kind of call out where people were going to be before they got there, because I was seeing what Z-score does is represent your fitness a little bit better. And so I can see like, hey, you might deserve to be in third, her normal scoring. Yeah. So like for Alexis Johnson right here, or not Alexis Johnson, Lauren Scott, right here, it says that like in normal game scoring, she would be in 5th. So going backwards, like she would be in 5th, you would expect her to fall to whatever place she's in now, 7th.
Harry J. Gurr, $27.99 from Canada. As always, great work, everybody. Thanks for bringing us this amazing event. Great crew and great community as well here. Saludos. And then one of these alien signs. Nanu Nanu. For those of you who know. Nanu. Does anyone here know Nanu Nanu? Anyone?
Yeah.
You do? Tell me. What's Nanu Nanu?
It's Robin Williams. He's the alien guy.
Wow. God, I didn't think you were old enough to know that. Brian has no idea what we're talking about. Nanu Nanu. Do you know, Brian, friend, what we're talking about? Nanu Nanu?
No.
Okay.
It's Mort, right?
Mork, yes, Mork and Mindy. That's how I spent my childhood. That's why I am the way I am. For those of you who have hatred towards me, I was the victim of TV.
We're losing
Explains a lot.
He's losing his interest in CrossFit.
I need a little help with the schedule here, guys. I have that the next event starts at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Is that when the event starts, or is that when the show is supposed to start? Can you tell me when event number 4 kicks off?
That's when I think that's when the competition begins. I don't know what time our next show is.
Okay, so if our competition begins, let me ask Susie. Do you know that for a fact? Can you say that with some certainty, or should I ask Souza?
2 p.m. Heat 1.
Okay, so basically that means we will be coming on at 1:15. Caleb, if you could switch that in StreamYard, 1:15. At 1, I can do it too. 1:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be coming back. That's 45 minutes prior to the event kicking off, at which point we will begin our preview show for the Zelos games, event number 4. It's the final event. There is no certainty of who is going to win this or who is going to be in the podium on either men or women. It's not even close to certain. Is that a fair characterization of where we're at, Brian Friend?
Well, we've seen already that there can be big jumps in terms of placement and points, and there can be big gaps depending on if someone, is able to win this workout by a minute or something like that. It could have a drastic result on the leaderboard. What we do have going into the final event is that the athletes will be seeded based on their performance up to this point. So they'll be competing against the competitors that they're closest to for the most part. I still think that there's a good chance that we'll see a competitive time come out of the middle heat, and then the athletes in the final heat will kind of know what they need to chase down.
Mr. Spin, do you believe it's wide open?
Outside of Tudor and Nisler, I think the champions are pretty much locked in. But second,
when you say locked in, you mean locked in to get on the podium or locked in for first place?
Tudor has a big lead on Tola. I just don't see Tola beating him by enough. You'd have to do.
Can you hit the men tab, Caleb? Sorry, can you hit the men tab?
Yeah, he has a 52 point lead. Tola would have to basically win this thing, and Tudor have to be well below average. I just don't see that happening. I do think that anyone down all the way to James Sprague in 6th has a chance of getting on the podium, and even at second place potentially. And on the women's side, I think it's about the same. Top 4 or 5 have a shot at the podium.
Tyler Watkins, do you see this as a wide open for the men and the women?
At the top, no. I don't like both Brians were saying. Tudor Magda, I don't see him losing that lead. I would watch James Sprague for sure. I think that, if you look at his 189 points compared to 3rd is 205. So those 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's going to be tight. There could possibly be a good bit of jumbling there, because this workout's very different from all the others. It's longer. So I would watch there. Tudor could mess it up. I don't see him doing that. And then for the women, the spread
Can you
again.
click the women's tab, Mr. Beaver.
The spread for the women again is small. If you look at 3 down to 6, and so I would watch there. Alex Gazan, I could see her taking 2nd on Christine Kohlenbrander, but that goes down to her work capacity in relation to Christine. I think she's better at this style event. What do you guys think?
I think we'll talk about that in an hour.
Yeah,
we
fair
will.
enough.
I just want to give you a quick peek before we sign off here. How to do this? Nope, I don't know how to make it bigger. Sorry. I will tell you the event, though. It is workout 4. I believe it is the longest workout we are going to see of the weekend. Is that accurate, Brian?
Yeah, by a long shot. Almost twice as long in terms of time cap as any of the others.
And it's 150-foot handstand walk, 50-40 cal on the row, 35 wall balls, 50 chest to bar pull-ups, 10 devil presses, 50 toes to bar. Thank you, Caleb. 35 wall balls again, 40 calories on the row, and 150-foot handstand walk. We will be back at 1:15 Pacific Standard Time to give you our predictions, tell you how it's going to affect the scores, and we will continue to bring you this coverage. And thank you for the many thousands of you that have been watching today. It is we are more than flattered and honored. Our text chat is kind of blown away at the support you guys have been giving us. And we'll give the final word from Get With The Programming, Chase Ingram. This workout needs more wall ball shots. See you guys soon. Caleb, thank you. Matt Sue's executive producer, Emma Ruth, and who's the other girl, Matt? Emma Ruth and
Kendall.
Thank you so much. Will Brandstetter, the man behind the scenes that no one ever talks about, absolutely murdering it, bringing all the graphics and fun stuff to the show. Bye-bye.